Sign-on bonus of up to $16,000. Owner-operator teams may qualify for a $10,000 incentive. Explore team driver positions at SchneiderJobs.com and search team contracting jobs at SchneiderOwneroperators.com.
Tee up for a great cause at the annual MASH Golf Outing. Practice your swing for the event October 7th at Woodwind Golf Club in Westfield, and you'll not only have a great time, you'll be helping first responders and veterans overcome PTS. With a silent auction, swag bags for everyone who participates, fun on the links, and more. Arrive by 9:30 for registration. Play begins at 10:30 and awards at 4:30. That's October 7th at Woodwind Golf Club in Westfield. Go to mashministries.org for more details.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard Air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
Forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Dense fog lifts later this morning. Cloudy with spotty showers today, a high of 79. Widespread showers and thunderstorms overnight, a low of 64. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and on WIBC.com. It's 9:06. Kendall and Casey starts now.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, we beat Google.
We beat Google? How does one even do that?
Would you prefer ding dong, the Google's dead?
Yeah, Google has withdrawn its petition to rezone those 460 acres of farmland in Franklin Township.
Now, look, okay, so let's kind of reset everything for everybody, and then we'll get to the meat and potatoes, what happened last night. I assume most people know. At this point, we've talked about this ad nauseum, but we have new people coming in all the time. Okay, so Google was attempting to build a $1 billion, a massive data center in Franklin Township in Indianapolis. That's Beech Grove, down to the tip of Greenwood, that area of the city. It was hundreds of acres of farmland they were going to occupy, and it had made it past the Planning Commission in the city of Indianapolis, and their final hurdle was to get an affirmative vote from the Indianapolis City County Council. Now, the intrigue had been because of an outrage by the residents, not just of Franklin Township, but the entire city and the surrounding areas. And much of that, look, those people were amazing that led the charge on that. And I posted this last night, and everybody pretty much agreed. Do not underscore the role that really conservative media played in this. Us, by us, I'm saying WIBC across the board. Hammer Nigel, us. Jacob Stewart at Indy Star wrote about this a whole bunch. And one guy who deserves a lot of credit for this, who put a lot of info out, is Indy Reporter, our pal Stephen Whitmer.
Yeah.
Everybody should totally follow that account at Indy_Reporter_ on Twitter. And the information that got out because of that really motivated people. And I think, and I can't tell you the amount of people already who have said, congratulations on beating Google. And it was like, well, sure. Why? Thank you. I'll put that little feather in my cap.
You're right. We did.
Yes. So, the setup to this is they have this final vote at the City County Council. They had walked in. Google had walked in without having the votes. If the vote had failed, so they need to get 14.
Right.
No, they needed to get 50. No, they need to get 14 because of the way the vote was going to work. They need to get 14 of the 25 counselors on board. They did not have the votes to do that. And so before a vote could be had, the petition was pulled.
It was withdrawn.
Yes. So the reason Google did that is if had there been a vote and it failed, they could not have come back for 1 year. Now they have essentially 2 weeks to either pull the petition from the Planning Commission level, which then they can't come back for 3 months, or it buys them a it buys them 2 weeks to try to convince 2 counselors at the city, county council level to flip their vote. So basically, they're stalling for time at this point.
That's it, exactly.
It's not over.
Right. So a future hearing on the rezoning, it could still happen on October 6th. This, unless Google submits that formal withdrawal. So like you mentioned, what they did last night was just bought themselves more time. And what are they going to do with that time? They're going to what? Try to convince some counselors to vote the way they want?
Well, and look, it came out with the thing with the Franklin Township school system. Google's doing all sorts of things behind the scenes to try to sway these influencers to get people to yes on this. The problem is, and you know, we talked about this when James Briggs and Jacob Stewart from the Indy Star were in, the columnists from the Star were in, and they had their little spirited back and forth about this. And Briggs, who is in favor of the project, said, and James and I don't think he minded me sharing this, we're texting about this earlier today, that both Google and the state has done a horrible job of explaining to residents how this will benefit them. All we know is Google's getting a bunch of incentives and abatements, et cetera, and there's no clear document that says, hey, here's how much each entity is going to benefit. Here's exactly what we're doing. Here's why this is in your best interest. Because don't forget, the IEDC, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, is inserted in the middle of this shadow quasi-government entity that was giving away all sorts of freebies for Google to come. And people were just like, we have seen enough of these things go up. We're hearing what they may do in terms of the power, the electricity, the water, and we don't see a benefit to take that risk. And that's why the outcry was so overwhelming by the public throughout the past several months.
Now, the Franklin Township School Corporation, they did support the project because Google has offered some financial incentives to the school corporation.
Which you don't know exactly what they are because you don't get to know until the rubber meets the road on all of this. So it wasn't abundantly clear exactly what the incentives were. And this is another example of people going out of their way to be anti-transparent. And so my question would be to Susie Jaworski, the energy secretary, who said these data centers and windmill and solar projects should sue municipalities who quote-unquote drag them along. Is this dragging them along? Would you say that Google should now sue the city of Indianapolis, Susie, because the elected officials heard an overwhelming outcry from their taxpayers that said no?
Lots of people gathered at that meeting last night.
Does Braun's cabinet member believe, does the governor believe, because she's his voice on the topic, does he believe that Google should now sue the city of Indianapolis because they're quote-unquote drug along? Or did the process work the way the process has always worked, and the ultimate say is the elected official who is the only person at any of this process who's actually accountable to the voters?
Yeah. Okay, so what did Mayor Joe Hogsett do? He responded to the withdrawal, and he praised Indianapolis as a city of growth and innovation. He respected Google's decision, but he reaffirmed the city's commitment to attract investments. It would create jobs and also support economic development. So if it doesn't happen in Franklin Township, is Google just going to go to the next city over and try again?
Sure, they're already trying it in Martinsville. We've already had the folks on the show. There's another one they're trying to do in Martinsville. This is what I'm telling everyone. These data center people, whether it's Google or many of the others, they're like Jason Voorhees. They're horror movie characters. You can burn them. You can bury them at sea. You can put them in a cavern underground. You can whatever. You can chop them in half. They're going to come back. There's going to be another episode. They're not giving up. And so some people were like, can't we just have this one? By the way, do we have the audio of Michael Paul Hart telling the...
when the attorneys got up, gathered their papers.
No. So there was a clip. Jim Sullivan, who's a longtime Indianapolis, kind of political figure is a strong word, but involved in Indianapolis politics and government. He played this clip and it was great. I wish we had it. I thought we had it for the show. Michael Paul Hart, who's a city. Do we have it?
Yeah.
Okay. So Michael Paul Hart, who is the Republican. Well, he was. He got kicked out for being too mean to Hogsett, but was the Republican leader of the city county council. Tells the people. This is his district that this is going on. He tells the people that Google is pulling the petition. Listen to this response.
Good evening. I just want to give you a quick update. I was given notice by our council attorney that Google is withdrawing their petition.
Okay. And good on Michael Paul Hart, who did lead the charge on this from the city county council perspective. My thing to him and the rest of those people is, now do this with everything Hogsett. Where was Hogsett during the riots? You can find out. You've just proven you can beat the guy.
You want something. Keep going.
The Thomas Carl Cook stuff. Do this with that. You guys can accomplish this. It's like Fred Krueger, man. If you just walk away and say Hogsett doesn't exist, you can do whatever you want to do. But a big win, not just for the city of Indianapolis, the people of Franklin Township, but hopefully a big win for the people across the state of Indiana who now know if you organize and if you engage properly, you can stop these things.
Now let's talk about the problem here, the future. Because what's going to happen is Google's just going to hope everybody gets disinterested in this over the next couple weeks, and they come back and nobody's there this time.
Yeah, so again, let's repeat that Google now has two options with this. They can officially pull the petition, in which case they will have to wait 3 months to refile, and then they'll go through the process again. Now, what wasn't clear to me was if they have to go back to the Planning Commission again, or if they just can go directly back to the council if they can bypass the Planning Commission. Not that seems like it's much of a hurdle for them to do. Or they can spend 2 weeks trying to get two counselors to yes, and then they can bring it back by October 6th to the City County Council and have it voted on, and if it's approved, then it would go forward. So, again, I just want to tell everybody, great, enjoy your evening last night. Your work starts again today if you don't want this thing, because these guys, they're not like going to be like...
They're coming back.
But the biggest takeaway is we beat Google.
Yeah.
Kendall and Casey beat Google.
It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the Morning News. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
Of all the times to buy new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
36-month, 10,000-mile per year lease. 2,500 due at signing. No security deposit required. All offers subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details. Ends 9/30/25.
In light of recent events, there has been a call on the next generation to stand up and be bold. Life Church's 4th annual Truth Conference is designed to equip them by answering life's toughest questions about God, about faith, about life, about truth. On October 4th and 5th, we are inviting students 6th to 12th grade across Indy to unite in truth. To register and more, visit the events page at lifechurchin.com. It's more than a weekend, it's a turning point.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joyner Homes is ready to make your dream come true. Over 18 years, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana, and the best place to start is joynerhomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joyner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes, and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joyner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at joynerhomes.com.
Join us every Friday right around 5:50 for Beer Sample Friday.
Brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, home of free delivery within 75 miles of their store.
We have the best technicians in the business here at Family. They'll take care of you every time. 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Okay, look, if I've never been banned from the radio, you got to really try hard to actually get banned, right? Or suspended, right?
Well,
from any sort of, public air broadcasting.
I think your bosses could suspend you pretty easily, especially if you said one of the magic words that got a big fine. That would do it.
Okay, so we're talking about, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob, that's Casey. We're talking about Jimmy Kimmel. If you hadn't heard what he's back tonight. Is that right?
Yes, he is returning to the air tonight.
That was one heck of a suspension. Did that even last a week?
Yeah, what was it, 5 days? ABC said that they had thoughtful conversations with Kimmel before deciding to reinstate him. He was suspended indefinitely last Wednesday after he made some controversial comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination. But yes, he will be back tonight. However, he won't be back everywhere. Sinclair Broadcast Group, which owns 31 ABC affiliates, they say they're not going to be airing his show tonight, and instead they're going to broadcast news.
You're a TV person.
Former.
Okay. Former, yes. You still should be on TV.
Thanks.
You and Phil Sanchez would do a great program together. not in any way disparaging the people currently doing programs with Phil Sanchez, but
sure.
I've always thought you would make a great team. How big of a deal?
I don't know if I like baseball enough.
How big a deal is 31 television stations in terms of the landscape? Is it like
31 markets?
Yeah, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. It's an airport. It's not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. Or they're like, oh shoot, that's really going to hurt us.
Well, no, I think that's something. It really depends on the markets that they're in.
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
I don't know exactly which markets the ABC affiliates are in. For example, the television station that I formerly worked at was a Sinclair group.
Okay, so
however, I was on a Fox, not on an ABC.
I get it, but I'm trying to put this in perspective for our audience. So let's just say, look, some are going to be bigger, some are going to be smaller. But let's just say it was 31 South Bends. Let's say the average market they're in is South Bend, Indiana. Would that at all motivate or move how ABC programs if 31 South Bend said we're out?
Yeah, well, I mean, it is the second largest television group in the country.
So they do have some influence.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
They've got some.
But there's some reason they've decided to bring this guy back. Now, Carl, Tony's producer, better known as Conspiracy Carl, has his own little program that he does, Conspiracy Carl's Corner with Ethan, believes that the fix is in and this whole thing was planned and that they're doing this just to get a hit for Jimmy Kimmel. This whole thing
publicity
was designed to give him a bump because otherwise nobody's watching Kimmel, and now people are like, ooh, I wonder what he's going to say. And I don't necessarily rule that out. My question would just be, okay, so somebody watches him the first night back and the show still stinks. Then
you got to come back the second night. Right. Well, you had, 400 plus Hollywood figures signing some big letter defending free speech and demanding that Kimmel come back. And so he's coming back and then he'll be on there tonight. Well, guess what? He's got to produce again Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And then Thursday night.
Yeah.
And then Friday night. Oh, and then next week. And then the week after that. And the week after that. And on and on and on and on.
Right. So I don't know. It is interesting that could be what I guess it would determine, did Kimmel get paid while he was quote unquote suspended? Because he ain't giving up no money. If it was all, if they were all in on the, the work together or whatever. here's the point of all of this. Society will still police it, whether Kimmel's on the air or not. If you don't watch it, then it will naturally take care of itself because they're not going to have something on that nobody pays attention to. And so if you simply don't engage with the product, the same way you would advertisers on a program where somebody says something you're upset with or whatever, then it'll all take care of itself whether Kimmel's there or not.
So Kimmel, he negotiated his return directly with Disney CEO Bob Iger. And he's going to address, allegedly, the controversy in his monologue tonight, but he's not going to apologize for it. Now, Nexstar, who's another major affiliate owner, hasn't confirmed whether they're going to air it or not.
Okay, so let's back up for just a second, and I'm sure I'll get in big trouble for even asking this question. I have seen the take of many people, including some concern. Look, like Rand Paul has come out, against this, and Ted Cruz
Against what? His return?
Well, no,
or
the suspension, and
right.
It's primarily I'm not so much his suspension as the heavy hand of the FCC, or what is perceived as the heavy hand of the FCC.
Todd Young was even saying, Brandon Carr crossed the line.
Right, who's the chairman of the FCC. The argument is Kimmel wasn't in sight. Now, he said stuff that's factually incorrect, right, about the shooter. That's bad. But there's also an argument that Kimmel was simply talking about Trump's reaction to it and what he sort of believed was the hypocrisy of Trump's reaction to it, talking about the ballroom and everything else. Your good friend has, been assassinated, and is that really going to be on the, the first thing you're thinking about? And he was insulting that. Do they have a case for that? Do they have a case to say, well, we were going after the president, showing how ridiculous he's being about it? However, people are laughing. People are having a good time. You can't be laughing and having a good time and delivering jokes about, in or around some guy's assassination.
Yeah, it was in poor taste. But again, it will, the public will police this via ratings.
Yeah.
Sinclair asked Kimmel to apologize and also donate to Turning Point USA.
Oh, that ain't going to happen.
Well, no kidding. Even though he could.
Yeah, no.
He's in a financial position where he could do that.
No way is that happening. All right, we got to take a break. What are we doing next?
What are we doing next? You know what? We've got to talk about the cabinet positions with the governor.
Oh!
And the dual office holding.
Okay, so this is, well, I'll just tell a personal story about this, shall we, Casey?
Goody.
I've got some experience
We're going to go in the
this.
Rob Kendall files.
How this whole thing all works, right?
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
This is Denny Smith, and C&J's having a water quality sale of whole home protection for what matters the most. Better water for your family. Remove forever chemicals, solids, and metals from the water you cook with and drink. Invest in a softener and a reverse osmosis, UV, or dechlorinator and save $400. Invest in 2 components and save $800. City water or well water, C&J, official partner of the Indiana Pacers and Fever, has great systems and great people too. 317-733-SOFT.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-948 800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. That's 800-948-1659.
Talking on the phone is difficult if you've been exposed to loud noises over time. Combat veterans, factory workers, farmers, gun and motorcycle enthusiasts can have trouble hearing on the telephone. Relay Indiana helps return clarity to your phone conversations. A free service providing telecom accessibility, Relay Indiana allows hard of hearing users to have normal phone conversations through specially trained relay operators. Relay Indiana also provides free loaned equipment to those who qualify. Get the captioned telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit relayindiana.com now.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The president speaking to the UN. Foggy this morning. Right now, mostly cloudy and 66. The high today around 79. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:30. President Donald Trump speaking at the 80th United Nations General Assembly in New York City today. Secretary of State Marco Rubio joined Fox and Friends saying the president may speak critically about the UN itself.
The UN is an organization that has the potential to do some great things around the world, but it's not doing it.
The Trump administration has argued that the U.S. pays more to the UN budget than it gets in return. UN leaders have said the budget cuts imposed by the U.S. are already having negative effects around the world. Jimmy Kimmel is going back on the air after being suspended for comments he made following Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Disney and ABC Network's indefinite suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live lasted less than a week. The show is back on the air in a decision reportedly made by Disney CEO Bob Iger after the company says it spent the last few days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy after he made controversial comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination. Now, in a statement, Disney explained for the first time why it suspended Kimmel. Quote, last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country.
Fox's Brian Yennis reporting, despite Disney's decision, Sinclair Broadcast Group, which operates 30 ABC affiliates, announced it will preempt the late-night show. Sinclair is calling for Kimmel to issue an apology to the Kirk family, along with issuing a donation to the family and Turning Point USA. And NASA is introducing 10 new candidates to become astronauts, which include 2 from Indiana. Yuri Kubo and Adam Furman are both Purdue grads. The candidates were welcomed during the 2025 astronaut candidate class ceremony at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas on Monday. Now your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow is up 50 points, 46,381. The S&P 500 down just 2 points to 6,693. And the NASDAQ in the green, up 2 points, 24,761. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
It's football season. The air is crisp, the stakes are high, and every winning team has one thing in common: a solid game plan. The same goes for retirement. You need a clear strategy, smart play calling, and a team who knows the field. At Howard Bailey Financial, we help you prepare for the long game, anticipating challenges, protecting your lead, and calling the right plays when it matters most. Because, let's face it, retirement isn't a pickup game. It's the championship round, and you don't want to wing it. Get off the sidelines and into the huddle. Text PLAY to 888-494-5004 to download your free retirement toolkit. That's PLAY to 888-494-5004. Howard Bailey Financial, because every great retirement deserves a game-winning drive. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. See disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me: cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaimed their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
You know, Casey, my enemies have tried to do a lot to me over the years.
You got a lot of those, do you?
And look at me, my bullet-riddled body still in front of everyone. I'm still here broadcasting every single day.
Yes, you are.
And actually, one of the things they tried to do to me over the years, actually now I can speak from good experience on this because it's actually affecting our state government now, and the Indiana Capital Chronicle has a big article about a topic that I've got some experience with.
So Governor Mike Braun has appointed 2 top officials to hold dual leadership roles. So this is now a debate over holding 2 positions, and it's sparking some constitutional concerns. Can they do this? Can they not do this?
So the big one is like the that Anthony Scott dude who is the state police superintendent. You know Anthony Scott. He's the guy who, when he became state police superintendent, the Tom Kleinhelter investigation. Tom Kleinhelter, of course, DuBois County Sheriff, very close political ally and friend of Governor Mike Braun, was accused in an 80-page probable cause affidavit by the previous state police commissioners or superintendents administration, Doug Carter, of massive misuse of commissary money, including buying his wife plane tickets, et cetera. And then once Anthony Scott became the state police superintendent, magically that investigation went away. And not only did it go away without really an explanation about why, because, 80-page probable cause affidavit's pretty strong, but also the detective who was in charge of the case, Jeff Heron, 30-plus year distinguished member of state police, got reprimanded, I believe demoted, et cetera, because he was, quote-unquote, well, I don't know if they use this exact quote, but they basically said he was unprofessional in his dealings with the special prosecutor who decided not to file the charges against the governor's close political ally without really an explanation on why. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Anthony Scott,
Indiana State Police Superintendent,
conveniently then gets promoted to this public safety secretary position when Jennifer Ruth Green has her little meltdown ski. She resigned in a cloud of scandal. There's an inspector general's report, ethics commissions looking into that. You know all this stuff. So not only now is Anthony Scott the state police superintendent, he's also the public safety secretary, which is a cabinet level position.
Correct. You also have the Secretary of Education, Katie Jenner, was confirmed as higher education commissioner while keeping her previous role. So the Indiana Constitution prohibits holding more than one lucrative office unless expressly allowed. So what is a lucrative office?
That's the question. Okay, so it's called dual lucrative office holding. And Casey, and this is funny because every so often I'll be in an engagement with someone, and then they'll go, "Yeah, but you're the dual lucrative office guy, so what will you know?"
Oh, so you have some experience in this.
So this would have been 2013, 2014. When I was on the town council in Brownsburg, I was also working as the pharmacy board director for Governor Pence. And one is a state employee job, one is an elected position. They're not in any way connected. I also served at the request of my fellow council members, because if there was one thing I was good at, Casey, not good at much, I was good at broadcasting and good at government. Because boy, and Casey will back me up on this, the OCD works great if you give a damn about government, because you got to read a lot and you got to obsess over things and you got to never stop. So my fellow colleagues kept asking me to do things like a redevelopment commission, the planning commission. I was even on the solid waste board, Casey. You want to find the most boring job in all of government? Go serve on the solid waste board. But I was always one to raise my hand and say, okay, I'll go do this. And this will shock you, Casey, when I was an elected person, there were some people who didn't care for me.
No.
And they accused me of what is known as dual lucrative office holding, because I had all of these government, appointed positions, and I was the pharmacy board director. Well, I was friends with the prosecutor in our home county, Hendricks County. So when they filed a complaint with the prosecutor, and the prosecutor's like, "Look, there's totally nothing here, but because I'm your friend, I'm not going to be able to look into any of this. I'm just going to give this to the neighboring prosecutor." This was Boone County, I think, was who they gave it to. And I'm sure there's nothing here, but just give it away. Well, the news finds out special prosecutor, and all of a sudden, they're sprinting to Boone County. Councilman accused of doing... I was accused by some guy who didn't like me. It wasn't like I was accused by the state police or the Brownsburg police or the FBI. It was like some guy who doesn't like me has accused me of this. And so as a result, there was I believe it was 14-page document written. And by the way, it wasn't just me. There were other people that were also accused of this. There's a 14-page document that exists. People can read it, find it. It's been around for years, saying Rob Kendall did absolutely nothing wrong. He's guilty of nothing other than being really good at government. Everyone go home. But because there are news articles about it, and by the way, there are news articles that say Rob Kendall did nothing wrong. Everyone go home. That I think gets at the end of the news when the accusations made. You're the lead story.
Salacious goes to the top.
So I have some some experience. But my favorite thing is always this has been around for like 11 and a half years now. And my favorite thing is every so often somebody will find a newspaper article, the accusation article, and be like, that's you. Not the article that says Rob did nothing wrong. But this is just one of the numerous things I've dealt with over the years of people trying to take me down and take me out. And I always laugh when people think they're like Indiana Jones. They've properly executed a Google search and they found the accusation and they're like, what do you know, double dipper?
Double dipper.
So maybe someday I'd have to figure out. You have to show me how to do this. We could like scan it in on our. Does the copier work in there?
Not today.
We could scan the special prosecutor's report saying it did nothing wrong, and maybe we could post it online for people to see.
Just take some pictures of
to
it.
educate the people who every time I make a new mortal enemy, they think they found something amazing. Anyway, I have a lot of experience with this, and. There are rules, there are laws, there are certain offices you can or can't do things with, and the Constitution very clearly spells all those things out. And I would assume they've got attorneys working on this to make sure that their employees are in the clear and everything's fine.
So lucrative office is typically a paid public post created by law with sovereign powers. So the Attorney General's office uses a 4-step test to evaluate whether it's a dual office, right? They ask, are both positions lucrative offices? Does the arrangement violate separation of powers? Are the positions incompatible or conflicting? And are there other legal prohibitions? So the thing with Jenner and Scott, they're going to receive only one salary. And this is to try to help avoid any lucrative office conflict. And the governor says that their roles share a common mission. So that avoids any separation of powers or conflict of interest issues.
And by the way, so I want to tell people this is why when I air things, because of what I went through, and look, the reason I am the way that I am, and I'm so tough on all this stuff, and what people say about me doesn't bother me at all. Look, I've been through it all, right? There's nothing somebody's going to say that's going to be worse of somebody accusing you of something. I was young. I mean, I think it was 29 or 30 years old. Like I just started. It was like, what is going on here? That hardens you to the point where it's like nothing you're going to face is going to be worse than that. But it is why, because I went through that, I am so meticulous when, like, we broke the Bo Hotchick story, making sure I get multiple sources. When we aired the Bo Baird OWI story, that I'm so meticulous, get other sources. I don't take lightly when I say somebody's done something without having the stuff to back it up, because
you know what it feels like.
I've been through it. And that's why we get the stuff right, because I am so meticulous about it.
So Braun's office, he framed the moves as part of government streamlining. It's a way to cut costs and improve efficiency.
Wait.
So according to him, both of these posts, they're fine. They're good.
Well, and they may very well be. My question about the streamlining is, how does he keep doing all these things to streamline government, but we couldn't fund the government without raising taxes by $1 billion? Right. These two things, and by the way, let's act like Anthony Scott's running a soup kitchen over there. He's making $275,000 under the new post. These are not poor singing orphans. We're paying these people tons of money.
A lot of money.
I'm not sure how streamlined that is. Clearly, it must not be that streamlined if you couldn't fund your government without raising taxes by $1 billion.
Is it more streamlined having one person do multiple things than having two separate people in two different jobs?
Well, it depends on how efficient and effective they're running the government. Just because you have one person at the tippy top versus two, if the way they're running things isn't better or more effective, then you might as well have the two people, right?
Yeah. So this isn't the first time this has happened. Mitch Daniels did it. Eric Holcomb did it as well.
Yeah, I think it's a common thing. People are going to run their administrations the way they want to run them. The dual lucrative office holding thing it does happen. I think people have gone down for it. It's not a it's not a total nothing, but I think they probably worded this to the point. Look, see, I'm defending the Braun administration on something,
this.
Casey.
Wait, what's going on?
How about that? Is there anything I don't have?
Tuesday, September 23rd.
What are we doing next? What's going on?
We've got to talk about what's going on with Turning Point USA. They made some announcements last night and where they're going to be close to us coming up. Okay?
Let's do it.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon. We're giving away tickets to see Heart. You're going to love the game we play. Also, caller roulette and the biggest stories of the day. 93 WIBC.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
It's the start of our favorite season here in Indy, football season. That's right, with all the hype and action this season brings, we know things can get loud and messy real quick. Before you invite your friends and family over to watch the games, you better call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to clean up all those fumble moments in your home. And lucky for you, you can score big this month with great savings. Hi, this is Denny Smith, and you can get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning too. The Zero Res service is easy to line up, and you can go online at zeroresindy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. And don't forget the ZR water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. Now mention WIBC and you'll get 3 rooms cleaned by the Zero Res Pro starting at just $129. $129! Plus $75 off duct cleaning too. 317-388-5141. Online at zeroresindy.com.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Comprehensive cancer care is not just about treating cancer. It's caring for the person behind the diagnosis. It's our team by your side to listen, connect, and encourage, and to celebrate every milestone together. Because at Franciscan Health, your journey is our journey. Your victory is our victory. Your hope and trust in us to provide extraordinary cancer care with the latest advancements, plus a little extra TLC, is our mission. Learn more at franciscanhealth.org/cancercare.
Guys, it's game on at Synergen X and Low T Center, your TRT MVPs.
Book a free TRT consultation and automatically enter for a chance to win autographed sports memorabilia, tickets, and more. Female patients, you can win too. Book at trtmvp.com.
Game day starts with the Colts Ultimate Tailgate. Join WIBC October 12th at 9:30 a.m. at the Slippery Noodle for drink specials, games, prizes, and all the pregame fun you can handle. Don't miss Indy's Game Day Kickoff Party. More details at WIBC.com.
Okay, we got to talk about who's coming to IU in the place that Charlie Kirk would have been.
Yeah. So Turning Point USA, they announced that they're going to be continuing the campus tour that Charlie Kirk started, and some of the big names that are going to be filling in for Charlie are Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Governor Glenn Youngkin, Glenn Beck.
Wait. Okay, so time out. And I realize these people are trying to do a great thing, and so I'm not in any way trying to do up on that. But okay, you get Tucker because there was always used to be a saying in show business that if somebody can't make it, like if you're in a band or whatever and somebody can't make it, you always try to replace them for the audience with equal or bigger, right? And I get that Charlie Kirk's a massive shoe to fill, but Tucker Carlson sort of feels like equal or bigger. Megyn Kelly, okay, in the vicinity, right?
Yeah, I'd like to see her.
Glenn Beck, you know, I think his ship has sailed in terms of his, you know, at one point he was a dominant figure in the media, still a big name. Glenn Youngkin, which one of these is not like the other, Casey?
They also have Mike Lee, Andy Biggs, and Jeff Landry, and they say...
Who? Jeff Biggs? That's a congressman, isn't it? That's right.
They say they have an even bigger guest that will be announced soon, but there was a stop scheduled for IU. And it's still going to happen.
And it is Tucker Carlson, is my understanding.
It is Tucker Carlson. So October 21st at IU Bloomington, Tucker Carlson will be there, part of the Turning Point USA campus visit.
Now, this will be the hottest ticket. I mean, this will be, I'm not, like, I say Taylor Swift level. I don't think there will be that many people that will go to this. But this, because of as a tribute to Charlie Kirk, it will be a massive ticket. If somebody... I guess if you already had them, they're still good. People have already bought them, whatever. So if you got in on that, great. You'd probably be able to make a fortune if you can sell them. I don't know what the rules are with all of this. I assume you have to pay to go, right? This is not a...
I thought they were free.
Are they? They free?
I thought they were. You just had to get a ticket.
You just have to get in the door.
Yeah.
Now, they're not doing it at Assembly Hall, are they? They're doing it at some sort of theater or... does it say on the... I thought there was a list.
I don't have exactly where it's going to be.
Well, I'll look it up here real quick.
You could go to turningpointtour.com, theturningpointtour.com. Some other places they're scheduled to go: University of Minnesota, Virginia Tech, Utah State, University of North Dakota, University of Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Auburn, UC Berkeley, and also Louisiana State University. But the stop at IU is on October 21st.
Yeah, it still doesn't say. These articles are not very well written, like where because I would bet at this point, he might have been able to do that before, because Charlie Kirk was pretty popular, that you could put that in Assembly Hall and you would have enough people that would want to. Now, again, I don't know for security or whatever, that maybe they don't want to do that, but that will be a massively I'll get a answer on this and get it back to people later. Hey, I do have a big announcement though, because we have a bunch of other things to talk about. But I had a big parenting win this morning.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I'm pretty proud of this, Casey. I don't mind telling you. So obviously, when you have a 2-year-old, every day is some new adventure. And today, in our sing-along, my kid effectively, because they'll have the little simple songs is what we watch. I don't. Some young parents, people with young kids right now. After your time, Casey.
Yeah, I was going to say that wasn't around when I was.
It's famous.
Actively parenting.
It's songs, and they're acted out either through cartoons or puppets or whatever. Well, there's one with the colors, where they have the puppets holding up the colors and the balloons. And today, my kid effectively in real time got red, blue, green, and yellow.
Nice.
Correct.
Good. And the counting is still. How are we doing with
We're
that?
rolling. We were getting ready for, as we call it, school today, and we did the effective 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
No,
so
okay.
for some reason the
Progress.
7 and 8 are the ones we can't. I mean, she's trying to say them. Maybe some language expert could tell me, is there some thing about the numbers 7 and 8 that are hard for other kids to pronounce? She knows them. She's trying to say them. It's just not coming out exactly correct. But all the other ones, we're golden.
Spot on. She'll get there.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Okay. Yes. But I wanted to share that with our audience that we are now mastering the
colors.
We're now mastering the colors. Okay. So coming up, next segment, right?
Yeah, coming up next.
So there's been a lot of conversation about whether I'm a good boy or not when it comes to the Republican Party, about whether I'm a Republican in good standing or not. This is the most amazing. This is our show. This is my life, Casey. Somebody was laughing with me yesterday about this. This is my life, where there are people who hate me so much that their thing is they're going to try to prove. I'm not saying our next guest does, but I'm saying there are people out there who their whole thing they have obsessed over is whether or not by the letter of the law, I am a Republican in good standing.
Well, you do say that on the air. You say, I'm a Republican in good standing.
Now, of course, I've been referring all this time, because we had Daniel Elliott, state treasurer, on, that I'm a Republican in good standing with what people would actually care about, which is whether I could run for public office.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I wanted, I check all the boxes. Trust me, I do everything in my power to stay in good standing in terms of voting, how I vote, et cetera, about being able to run for public office as a Republican. State Treasurer Daniel Elliott has come on this program. We heard people like David Shelton, the Knox County Treasurer, say it. But they're like, I guess by the technical letter of the Republican Party bylaws, people are really hung up on they can disprove that I'm not a good Republican.
Jerry Lopez, our very own Indy Spanglish, he says, is Rob Kendall in good standing? No. He says you are not.
This is the most interesting and stupid segment at the same time.
He's going to join us next on 93 WIBC.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. That's 800-810-1820.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
Do you need heating service and want to find a dealer you can trust in Boone and Hamilton County like Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning? Just go to IndyHomeComfort.com.
In 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, how Google reacted to a large turnout of Hoosiers opposed to the proposed data center plans. What happened to a Fort Wayne police officer responding to a domestic dispute, and who's been charged for a shooting that left multiple people injured from over the weekend in Indianapolis. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
President Trump has just arrived at the United Nations in New York. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and a little later this hour, he'll address world leaders gathered at the UN General Assembly. And Secretary of State Marco Rubio tells Fox he may call out the UN itself.
If you look at Russia and Ukraine, you have a war going on there. It's the president that's been carrying the burden of trying to bring it to an end. The UN is playing no role. If you look at what's happening in Gaza with Hamas and everything that's happened there with Israel taking them on, what role is the UN playing? None.
Near the UN in New York, the Secret Service says it's disrupted a hidden communications network with several hundred servers that would have allowed encrypted anonymous exchanges, powerful enough to disable cell phone towers and could have blocked emergency communications, including police dispatch. Ryan Ruth will soon talk directly to the jury at his trial in the second Trump assassination attempt, defending himself in closing arguments. The prosecutor in his closing just told jurors a short time ago the evidence has shown one thing: the defendant wanted Donald Trump dead.
Ruth only called 3 witnesses compared to the prosecution, who called 38, questioning them over 7 days. Now, Ruth called on 2 friends from North Carolina. Those were his character witnesses. He asked if they thought if he was peaceful, gentle, and nonviolent. Both described Ruth in a positive light.
Fox's Dana Marie McNichol at the federal court in Fort Pierce, Florida. Jimmy Kimmel will be back on TV late tonight. Disney's reinstated the show it suspended last week over controversial comments Kimmel made about Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin. There was another public tribute to Kirk last night.
Charlie accomplished more in his 31 years than most people could accomplish in many lifetimes.
Michael Knowles took the stage at the University of Minneapolis Twin Cities, where Charlie Kirk was supposed to go last night. The next stop on his American comeback tour. He was murdered at the first event at Utah Valley University.
If you want to honor Charlie, go to church, read the Bible, pray, and do it right now.
America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're pulling the plug on their proposal. Cloudy and 67 on Monument Circle. The high today in the upper 70s. I'm Sherritt Lewis. It's now 10:02. The future of Google's Franklin Township plan now looking uncertain after the tech giant took back their request of building a $1 billion data center there. Google made that announcement at Monday night's Indianapolis City County Council meeting. Republican Councilmember Michael Paul Hart was a leading force against Google's plans.
The public did an amazing job coming out. I think that's the reason why Google withdrew their petition today, is because they've seen how many people came out.
And they withdrew their proposal before council could even debate and then vote on the matter. Google had asked the city to rezone about 460 acres of farmland on the southeast side of Indianapolis for the data center. A Fort Wayne police officer is stabbed while investigating a domestic dispute. The incident happening at around 6 p.m. last night in the northwest side of the city. Responding officers and the injured officer shot the suspect after he stabbed the injured officer. The condition of the suspect is unknown, but the injured officer was taken to a hospital in serious condition. The ACLU says it is representing Suzanne Swerk in a lawsuit against Ball State University and its president. Jake McDaniel has more.
They're arguing that firing her for a private Facebook post about conservative activist Charlie Kirk violated her First Amendment right to free speech.
Government employees don't give up their First Amendment rights just to become employees of the government. They still are entitled to their own personal opinions that they are free to express.
That's ACLU senior attorney Stevie Pachter. Swerk was let go from her job at Ball State last Wednesday, but she made the post as a private citizen, not an employee, and her post had nothing to do with her job. Swerk wants the court to say Ball State broke the law and her firing to be erased from her record, among other things. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A late-night car show turning violent in Indianapolis last weekend when Carlos Contreras opened fire into a crowd, then returned with a rifle to shoot 2 of the victims again while they were on the ground. Witnesses described a black Dodge Challenger fleeing the scene. Officers chased it through city streets until it got stuck on railroad tracks. Inside, police recovered firearms, including one modified for automatic fire. 3 people in total were injured. And Game 2 of the WNBA semifinals is this evening. The Fever take on the Aces in Las Vegas. Indiana leads the series 1-0 after beating Vegas 89-73 in Game 1 on Sunday. Tonight's tip-off is at 9:30 Eastern. Eastern. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the Level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey are back in 1 minute.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard Air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Casey, I'm not sure if I've been a bad boy or not.
You most certainly have. Ask anyone.
It's the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob Casey here. Now, we talked about yesterday that I have been banned from the Republican, Hendricks County Republican Lincoln Day dinner coming up Thursday.
Yeah, something along those lines.
I had a dear friend who had invited me, and I said, well, I will go against my better judgment and see my rowdy friends.
Yeah.
And I did tell you, I said, well, I'm excited because the last time I went to the Clay County Lincoln Day, we had a fun back and forth with Diego Morales, and he wasn't too happy about that. And I said it'd be fun to ask him some questions about who paid for India again.
Sure.
It'd be fun to, maybe if our lieutenant governor's there, ask him how, in a coherent, consistent fashion, he ended up at Game 3 of the NBA Finals with a high-profile known felon. It might be fun to ask Craig Haggard, if he's there, the state rep who's running for Congress, why he lied to our audience about redistricting.
Or changed his mind very quickly.
So then... well, the person who invited me was resoundingly, shall we say, firmly pressured into saying that's not going to work for us. And I've been disinvited from the Lincoln Day, which then sparked a conversation because I posted about this. And I said, one of the things I bring to the table is I'm a Republican in good standing. I was elected Republican. Voted in all the Republican primaries since 2010. I don't think anybody was a bigger proponent of Liars Are Us, Braun and Beckwith, as I was trying to promote them to the governorship last year because they promised to fix property taxes, which they didn't.
Right.
So I think I'm checking all the boxes. Oh, and nobody's more about the Republican Party platform than me. But our next guest says, you're not. Oh, and by the way, I think this is very important to say out loud. The state treasurer, Daniel Elliott, came on the show. You were here for this. And said he was also a former county chair and said, absolutely, you are a Republican in good standing.
Okay, but that's being called into question.
Well, yes. So Jerry Lopez, Indy Spanglish on Twitter, is here with us, our old pal. You say no. I'm not in good standing.
I say no. By the letter of the law, I don't think you're in good standing. Now you mentioned that you voted in primaries, and that has nothing to do with being a Republican in good standing. That's actually for just being a qualified primary Republican. That requires you to vote in primaries. But I will go a step further and say you're not even that, Rob Kendall, because that requires you to be in good standing, and I'm here to argue that you're not.
Okay, so me being all about the Republican Party principles, me being critical of Republicans who don't adhere to the Republican Party principles in their own platform. I didn't write the platform. Don't even vote on it. And me saying, well, if there are other people who, on a rare occasion, because most of the time I just leave my ballots blank, but on a rare occasion, there's someone who is more in line with the Republican Party platform than the Republicans, that makes me a Republican in bad standing.
I mean, according to this rule, and I didn't write the rule, and I don't think Daniel Elliott wrote the rule either. It's one sentence. The term Republican in good standing shall be defined as a Republican who supports Republican nominees and who does not, and this is the part where you get in trouble, does not actively or openly support another candidate against a Republican nominee. Now it does not
openly.
It does not say you cannot vote for other people. It does not say that you can't criticize. It does not say you can't hold accountable. But when Donald Rainwater's campaign is literally giving you a plaque that you accepted, I would say that you openly campaigned against Holcomb. Not that he wasn't a better choice, but by the letter of the law.
So the Republican Party official position is you can be against us, but as long as you're a good boy or girl and do it quietly in a closet, then we consider you in good standing. But if you say, hey, the guy who forced everyone to wear a mask, put 1 million people out of work, shut down the entire state, the official Republican Party position is, and this is very important, if you publicly criticize that and say, hey, there's a guy running who actually has your position
from another party,
then you're in bad standing.
Correct. It's against the rule. So I'm on your side. Governor Holcomb, to me, was a trans Republican. He identified as a Republican, but he was really a Democrat, right? Like wearing COVID masks and
no, wait. Are you being a Republican in bad standing right now by pointing out?
No, because he's not a nominee.
Oh.
So I think where you would get in trouble is, would you support Bai?
Well,
as Secretary of State.
I want to come to that in a second.
Yeah, because that's where you get in trouble.
Well, I will get to that in a second. So as long as
you can vote with anonymity, completely fine. But you're one of the most influential voices in the state.
Wait,
so how can you?
What about this big tent? We want all these people in. We want this diverse thought.
Yeah.
Support
our candidate.
Am I not the most diverse form of thought in which I desperately want to vote for default 2 Republicans, and only if there are Republicans who are so egregious? So for example, literally then all the people in 2020, the hundreds of thousands of people, including Jason Hammer is one, Nigel is one, I think Tony Katz is one, but I don't want to speak for him necessarily. We all, I think, lobbied against Eric Holcomb.
Right.
We're all the hundreds of thousands
would be
of people.
Now, if you were posting it and open, you're a little bit different. You got an award, brother.
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. That's huge. That's even the Libertarian Party going, you did a heck of a job supporting us.
Wait. So you're telling me that if you have a platform and you talk about it, you're in trouble. But if you don't have a platform and you talk about it, then you come to our party.
Platform's not part of the rule, right? So it says openly campaign against. So yes, if I'm just Joe Blow and I'm posting online, Diego sucks. Vote for Bai. Vote for Bai. Vote.
Right.
Would technically, by the rule, be in bad standing.
Okay, so we'll get to Diego. I know you really want to talk about Diego, and I think that's interesting too. I'm just saying that just so we can get this on the record.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands. So at every Lincoln Day, they should really be checking people like a Jack Bauer type thing.
Do you have to be in good standing to go Lincoln Day?
Well, I mean, that's why was I banned?
I mean,
why was I banned?
That's a whole other conversation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's no reason to ban me. I don't
think you were banned. I think the guy that was going to bring you decided it wasn't worth his little political capital to bring the guy that's going to flamethrow
Jerry, I've
everybody.
seen the message. It said, bring your wife or I will refund your ticket.
It also said, I can't ask you not to invite him, and I can't disinvite him.
Okay, so the point is, I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. Your interpretation of
my interpretation is the rule.
No, I'm saying
we can read it again.
Right. You're saying that for all the people in listener land, what the Republican Party thinks of you is you can hate us all you want, but if you dare publicly say somebody would do a better job of our own principles than us, and you point out why that would be, then you're out of the club, which really calls into question. They have this diversity series and all this other stuff. They don't. I mean, Casey, you're the voice of reason here. Isn't that a bit alarming that the standard is do whatever you want behind closed doors? Just don't say it
do
publicly.
it publicly, openly and publicly. Yeah, correct. That's what it sounds like. So that does call into question what we've got going on with the Secretary of State. So are you saying that Diego is running again? We know that. If you go on WIBC and you say, I really think Evan Bai might be better, that you're not a good standing.
That's a problem. Yeah.
What if you?
Although Evan Bai might be better too.
Right.
But I think that we have to go. Well, David Shelton is another option on the right.
But we've said that. We've had him on the show.
Like that's what I think Republicans want. If you don't like the candidate, get a better candidate. But don't go out here and
outside of the party
and say vote for the Dem.
But Jerry, I want to come back to this. We have wholeheartedly said, and I said this. I was the only person saying this 3 years ago. That David Shelton was by far the best choice.
Yeah.
Please don't elect this corrupt, unethical.
Well, now you have
imbecile.
another choice of David Shelton.
Okay, but I've done that. So I'm supporting David Shelton in the primary. I'm not a delegate. I don't vote, so I don't have the ability. Although I think, as we found in the lieutenant governor's race, I might be able to sway one or two people. Although I'm out of that game now because we've been burned too many times.
Yeah.
But sorry, Shelton. So I'm supporting David Shelton. I'm telling everybody. I mean, an aged potato skin in a Republican primary against Diego. But if Diego is the Republican nominee,
but the potato skin's out of the party.
Yes. If Diego's the nominee, and all of person with an IQ of 2 or above looks at this and says, this is a wholly unethical, totally corrupt individual who is doing who knows what in foreign countries with this office. If I say that's unacceptable to me, and whether it's Lori Schillings or Bo Bai, if I say they're a better choice, the Republican Party says...
That's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem. There's nothing wrong with you saying this guy sucks, this guy needs to answer for this guy's a problem, whatever. The moment you go, vote for the other dude, you're breaking the rules.
Why would anybody want to be a part of that? And this is why I'm glad you're here, because we're getting this...
But that's a fact. That's not my opinion.
I understand.
Not your opinion. It's one sentence, and it says openly campaign for somebody other than
So how many elections is that then? Like, are you not allowed
Well, that's what I wonder. Like, did you get in good standing in the last 4 after you helped Micah? Because there's no way you could have been when you helped Rainwater.
Right. Well, but that's my point. When am I
back in good standing?
Right, because I mean, I think I did the thing, right? I think I really tried to help those guys because I believe they were going to help on property taxes. Didn't I push
a lot of people across the finish line?
Didn't that do the thing?
Yeah, so once you're once you're not in good standing, how long before you get back in good standing?
Probationary period or something like that?
But you understand why this is ridiculous, right? Because the Republicans know, and this was not about whether I'm going to cause a disruption. I've never been arrested.
I think that was the fear.
But he knows that, and I had the conversation with the guy.
I don't think people know that. I think people think you're crazy.
But I've been to these things. I have no felonious convictions.
The bar is so low there. I've never been arrested.
I've never been in a post office. Look, I guarantee I've got less of a my case filed than many people who show up to these Lincoln days.
I agree with that. Yeah.
All I want to know is who paid for the Secretary of State Diego Morales' trip to India. How did Micah Beckwith end up at Game 3 of the NBA Finals with a high-profile known felon? Why did Craig Haggard lie to my audience? They don't want that asked.
I understand that, but a part of the agenda is not a Q&A presented by Rob Kendall. And that creates
But I'm not on a microphone.
You're a celebrity. When you walk in the building, eyes are on Rob Kendall.
That's, okay, so
I'm standing firm. Do you admit you're not in good standing?
No. I mean, I don't think Daniel Elliott would lie to me.
Daniel Elliott doesn't make a say on it. And that's my guy. I like him.
I think he knows the rules better than you do.
Okay, so is he saying the rule says Rob Kendall's allowed to openly campaign for candidates other than the nominee and remain in good standing? Is Daniel Elliott, please let me know if that's your official stance.
He actually messaged me earlier, and he said he would love to talk to you about it.
Yeah. I would love to know if that's the official stance, because that needs to be updated in the handbook.
Okay. Where can people find you on Twitter?
At Indy Spanglish.
Thanks for joining us. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
The things we did as kids that would emotionally destroy the kids of today.
Dodgeball in gym class. I went to Tri-West. I was terrified back in the early 90s.
I was one of those guys that was throwing it as hard as I could at people.
Nonstop bullying was normal and tolerated, and teachers didn't give a crap about it. The advice was like, just try to ignore it.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity theft.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why do so many basement companies want half the money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
Hey, guys, it's Rob. One guy who's always in good standing is our friend Mark Deed. Oh, you're laughing, Casey. You see what I did there. Zillow ranks Indianapolis number 2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with the guy always in good standing, Mark Deedle. Maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy buy it. Listen to what Dan and Casey in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Dietel. It was time to downsize, and we needed to sell our old house quickly at full value. Mark Dietel made it happen. We got our asking price in a few weeks without any repairs or an appraisal. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com.
Transform your backyard this fall with Indie Decorative Concrete. Get a free outdoor furniture set with our best stamped concrete patio package. Create the perfect space for cozy outdoor hangouts. Hurry, this offer ends November 1st. Visit indiedecorativeconcrete.com for details.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
Okay, so let's process something here for a minute, okay?
Oh, man.
I feel like I have accomplished what I came here to do.
Do you? Congratulations. Good for you.
You know, you have found
Check.
that there is always a method to our madness here, right? And it's not where I start with something. I know where I want to go. When I start, when I hit send, I've already decided where I'm going with something. And look, I've known for 2 months they were going to give me the boot ski at that Hendricks County Lincoln Day. It was never a doubt in my mind. I don't care that I had a conversation with the guy and he claimed we were cool. I knew that was never going to happen. And the premise of all of this, whether I am a Republican in good standing or not, is completely irrelevant to what you, the audience, what I wanted you, the audience, to get out of the whole thing. And you heard it with Jerry. Unless you give absolute, undying, unfettered loyalty to whatever horrible person the Republicans put forward.
Yeah.
If you dare open your mouth in public for the party that claims to be they want to be about this big tent, new thought, diverse thought, new people, that's crap. They don't want that. They want subservience to the point where Jerry admitted, and he's right, as long as you do it in a closet, Casey.
It's okay.
Yeah,
just don't do it out in the open.
Just don't publicly talk about how rotten some of our people are.
No, I think the point was not you can hold them accountable and you can talk about how rotten they are. You just can't promote a candidate outside of the party.
Yes.
That's the thing. And that was the point he was trying to make, that in the past you have done that. Now, I wonder, are you back in good standing?
Well, nobody would.
Like who? And is there like a governing board with a rubber stamp that
first
approves?
of all, but first of all, the good standing stuff was always about my ability to run for public office, which nobody is refuting. Which I think was the conversation that started all of this a long time ago. I absolutely could run for public office as a Republican. There's no doubt about it. That's the in good standing.
So could I.
Right. Absolutely. But it's all ridiculous. Because Republicans got us into this mess in this state. They certainly aren't going to fix it. We know that. And on top of their bad public policies, many of them are just downright rotten, disgusting human beings. And they don't want that called out. That's why I'm not allowed to go to Lincoln Day dinner. I don't care that I'm uninvited because I am desperate to go. I've already accomplished what I wanted to accomplish with Diego, which is he is a habitual pathological liar. He won't tell you who paid for India, not because he's concerned about some person getting protested, because he knows it would be horrible publicity if you found out who paid for it, if you found out what he actually did there, if you found out what the people who went with him actually did there. He doesn't want to tell you who that is, and he won't show you that he paid the money back with any sort of proof, because he also knows how that's going to go.
Okay, here's what I've learned based on that conversation with Jerry Lopez. I am a Republican in good standing. I can say that because I am a registered Republican. I have voted for only Republicans, and I have never told somebody to vote for someone outside the party, outside of. Now, if it's a candidate I don't like, I don't vote for their competitor. I just leave it blank. But my question is, even being a Republican in good standing, which I am, what does that get me?
Yeah.
Besides jury duty.
No, it's a good point.
Has it lowered my property taxes? Has it lowered the gas tax? Has it lowered the wheel tax? Has it fixed the roads? No. So, does it even matter if you're in good standing or not in good standing?
And that's what they don't want. This was never about whether I can go to this event. Like I said, I knew from the very beginning that was never going to happen, especially after Diego's meltdown at Clay County. But it's about proving to you, the audience, on this valuable resource that we have, about who these people actually are. So when you go and you give them your money, or you support their candidates, or you stand behind them, just know what you're giving to. People who, if you dare speak out, you're done. If you dare say, you guys aren't living up to your standards that you've set and the promises you've made in your own platform that you passed, so I'm going to go with somebody who has and will do that, or you put people who are so wholly corrupt and unethical that no decent person would ever support them. The absolutism pledge of the Republican Party says unless you support all of those people, or if you dare say somebody else might be better, then you're out. That was the point of all of this.
Mm-hmm. So, let's get back to...
So in the words of George Bush, mission accomplished.
The Lincoln Day dinner, okay?
Yes.
You've been uninvited to. And the thing is, like, Jim Jordan's going to be there from Ohio. Okay, you're not going to ask him any questions. Or I don't know, maybe you were, but we don't even know if any of our state elected officials are going to be at it. But they're so worried that they may be, and you may ask a question of one of them.
Yes. And so we'll move on from this now. I got exactly what I wanted to accomplish out of this, which is a conversation. And by the way, isn't it amazing, Casey, how obsessed these people are over me, that it turns into the dominant topic of politics becomes, is Rob technically by the letter of the law a Republican in good standing? Ban me from what? I'm not running for anything. I'm not a precinct committeeman. I'm not an office holder. I'm some dude who comes in and talks every single day. Mm-hmm. And I support the people who live up to the values that the Republican Party espouses to be for.
Well, that's a moving target, isn't it?
Not what they espouse to be for. How they govern is a moving target. But this is the principles laid out in the official party platform. So what I'm talking about, we need to hit this real quick because some people may not be aware. Is it every 2 years or 4 years? Anyway, I think it's every 4 years. At the Republican convention, the state convention, they vote on a party platform. There's one for the National Republican Party, too. But they say, these are the things and the guideposts by which we expect people who are Republicans and are Republican office holders to operate. When I talk about the party of low taxes and limited government, that's what the Republican Party says they are in their platform. They don't govern that way, and they just ignore it. And then instead of holding the people who ignore it accountable, you've got people, most of them in the system, who are part of the ignoring or vested in the people who do the ignoring, continuing to hold their office. They come at me, and their whole gotcha thing with me is, well, Article 8, Section 33, Paragraph 9 says you did blah, blah, blah. You're not in good standing. And that just gives me an opportunity, which has been totally taken, and another successful endeavor into showing you who these people are. They don't like you. They don't want you there.
They want your money.
They want your money. And by the way, if I'm in bad standing, stop sending me the fundraising emails and stuff in the mail. Please, for the love of God, I will take the bad standing every day if you will stop asking me for money.
I'm in good standing. Hey, Rob, I'm a Republican in good standing.
Well, good luck with you.
It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Indiana, get ready. On Saturday, September 27th from 10 till 2, it's back. The second annual Smoke in the Ville Egg Fest at Builders Lumber and Hardware. And this year is bigger than ever. Picture smoke in the air, food sizzling on the big green egg, and chefs serving up bite after bite of incredible flavors, all included with your ticket. Grab a drink from Bourbons and Brews Mobile Bartending. Enjoy live music by Nick Fisher and catch your favorite college game on the big screen while you sample it all. Shop local crafts, create a hands-on project to take home, and from 11 to 2, step up for Anarchy Axe Throwing. Tickets are just $20. Kids under 12 are free. Unlimited food, drinks, crafts, and axe throwing. All ticket proceeds support Love Inc. of Shelby County. Eggheads, don't miss your chance to buy a preseason demo egg at the lowest prices of the season. Smoke in the Ville Egg Fest, September 27th, 10 to 2 at Builders Lumber and Hardware, 1309 Miller Avenue, Shelbyville. Tickets are available at the door or at blhsupply.com. Get yours now.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You can say goodbye to cracked, stained, and dirty old floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out the color. Upgrade your home today by calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. And they come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. The phone number, 877-417-0635. You can find them online, too. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Trump addressing the UN. It's cloudy, 68 in downtown Indy. The high might reach 80 later today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:30, brought to you by Moss Roofing. President Donald Trump speaking now at the 80th United Nations General Assembly in New York City.
In just 8 months since I took office, we have secured commitments and money already paid for $17 trillion.
The Trump administration has also argued that the U.S. pays more to the UN budget than it gets in return. After he speaks, the president will participate in one-on-one sessions with multiple world leaders, as well as a group meeting with foreign officials. The U.S. Secret Service dismantling a plot in New York City this week. Fox's C.B. Cotton reporting.
The Secret Service says this telecom threat was uncovered as agents investigated telephone threats directed towards U.S. government officials. The investigation led them to a chilling plot that, yes, could have crippled New York City's phone lines, data networks, even emergency channels, with world leaders now here in New York City for the United Nations General Assembly. The investigation began this spring, and agents raided multiple locations within 35 minutes of the UN, seizing hundreds of servers and more than 100,000 SIM cards, tools capable of blasting out 30 million anonymous text per minute.
Federal authorities say forensic teams are now working to uncover who is responsible for this plot. Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs are requesting a sentence of no more than 14 months in prison for his conviction on 2 prostitution-related charges. If the judge agrees, Combs could be released almost immediately. Sentencing is scheduled for early next month. And Jimmy Kimmel is going back on the air after being suspended for comments he made following Charlie Kirk's assassination. Despite Disney's decision, Sinclair Broadcast Group, which operates 30 ABC affiliates, announced it will preempt the late-night show. Sinclair is calling for Kimmel to issue an apology and also donate to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. I'm Jarrett Lewis, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Retirement isn't just about reaching the finish line, it's about knowing how to play the next movement. Without a plan, your savings can feel like noise instead of music. I'm Jason Hutchins with Guardian Wells Financial. I've seen too many families head into retirement without the guidance they need. That's why I wrote Orchestrate Your Retirement, a guide to composing a financially tuned plan. I'd like to mail you a copy at no cost. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929. Inside this book, you'll find real-world strategies on turning savings into income, making smarter Social Security decisions, and reducing a bite of taxes in retirement. Call 317-660-0929. That's 660-0929 for your book today. Don't wait. Supplies are limited, and when they're gone, they are gone. Orchestrate your retirement. Discover the rhythm of a confident future.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. Guardian Wealth Financial is not affiliated with Creative One Wealth or with any government agency. Licensed insurance professionals.
Call 317-660-0929.
20 ribeyes for $35. That's 20 ribeyes for $35 at 2 locations in Indianapolis going on now. 20 ribeyes for only $35 at the corner of South Emerson and Thompson Road. Just look for the big truck. Also in the Hardee's parking lot at the corner of Brookville Road and South Arlington Avenue. Also on the big truck is cases of T-bones, fillets, New York strips, burgers, and a whole lot more. Big truck sale. Marinated chicken breasts too. Don't wait. Big steak sale at 2 different locations at the corner of South Emerson and Thompson Road. Also in the Hardee's parking lot at the corner of Brookville Road and South Arlington Avenue. 20 ribeyes for just $35. Don't wait. Everything must go. Big truck sale. That's 20 ribeyes for $35 at the corner of South Emerson and Thompson Road. Also in the Hardee's parking lot at the corner of Brookville Road and South Arlington Avenue. Get there before the truck is gone.
Did you get a heating and air conditioning quote that you're just not sure of? Give us a call for a free second opinion.
317-577-8077 for Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world.
Well, welcome back, Kevin.
It's hard to get by just upon a smile.
It's Kendall Casey show, and Rob Casey's here. So, we should probably talk a little bit about that press conference Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had yesterday.
Yeah, Donald Trump announced the FDA believes there is a potential link between acetaminophen use and pregnancy and the increase in autism.
Okay, so let's try to clarify a couple things. They're not saying Tylenol causes autism. Like if you take Tylenol, your kid is definitively going to get autism. But they are saying that there is some link to the taking some studies that they're citing that are linking autism to
a higher risk of it.
To a higher risk, or you're more apt to get it, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now, obviously, the Tylenol people and many medical, professional medical groups have pushed back, saying, "Look, we feel this is settled that it does not." And, they have agreed that I believe what aspirin and does, there is risk, and they tell you as a pregnant woman, don't take that. But we don't agree with this at all. And now there appears to be a lot of confusion and chaos as to what is actually settled science, what is not, and what people should actually be doing. And what really is hard in all this, you've obviously birthed a child, and I have a child, and when you are pregnant with your child, your children, you're on a constant state of alert anyway. You're paranoid about everything. And you're always worried, if I do too much of this or I do too much of that, is it going to cause this or that? And now this is just another thing where people who are genuinely good, decent people are now caught in a state of, panic or whatever, saying, well, am I harming my kid by doing this thing, and they just want to do what's right by their kid?
Yeah, so just a few decades ago, 1 in 10,000 children had autism. Now it's 1 in 31. And
what's the numbers on that?
A few decades ago, it was 1 in 10,000 children.
Okay.
And now it's 1 in 31.
Okay, so
when you combine boys and girls.
The medical people, and I reached out to Dr. Jim Dalton, who is the head of DAMAR, and DAMAR sponsors our State House Happenings podcast, but they're obviously mission in life is they help people with autism all over the spectrum, from people who are very high functioning, who may just need somebody to talk to every so often, to people who are very high functioning and may just need help paying some bills or laundry or whatever, to people who can't even get themselves dressed. They run the whole gauntlet at DAMAR. And so I reached out to him. We'll try to get a hold of him for tomorrow's show, because obviously they know people who are in the families that are forced to deal with this horrible thing, and it's all over the spectrum. And it's to the point where a lot of people who live very productive, happy lives never even know that they might have it in some capacity. There's people who believe all sorts of things about this. The problem is that there's a lot of people who will say, yeah, okay, more people are diagnosed, but that's because we've gotten better
at diagnosing
it, and we're finding people who 20 years ago or 30 years ago we just thought, well, that guy, he's a little off, he's kind of quirky, or he's got this thing about him. Well, you may technically have this, but obviously it doesn't in any way impede your ability to productive, happy, fruitful existence. So is it that something is causing this? Is it they're better at diagnosing it, or is it a little bit of both? And that's where I think the sort of panic and uncertainty sets in from parents.
So they're saying that since the year 2000, autism rates have surged to more than 400%. Cases have. And to your point, is it just getting better at diagnosing it, or is the spectrum widening? Because what may have been described as someone who's shy or quirky now is being put on a spectrum. Because somebody who maybe has Asperger's or is part of autism.
You know, I talked with my mother yesterday about this because she, she was a teacher for a long time, and she spent years working with kids with autism. And we were talking about this, about how, look, it's such a broad, I mean, I'm not, no pun intended, spectrum, right? That's why they call it that. And so it's so hard to pin down, okay, this was the cause of the thing, versus, again, there are people who may have always had some form of what we now call autism. And is there a crisis because of something we're doing? Now, I will say that I do think, or am more inclined to think, that the excess vaccine level could have something to do with it. Now, my wife and I have made a choice with our daughter to get certain vaccines. We're not anti-vaccine, but we've also made a choice not to get certain vaccines because we do share some concerns about the effects of jamming a bunch of stuff into a young kid's body. The problem becomes, and we talked about this yesterday with the Charlie Kirk funeral and the people who were like barking at me on social media because I was tweeting or watching the Colts game instead of the funeral, right? When you demand absolutism out of people, and one of the major problems I think the medical community, and we saw it play out big time during COVID, not the entire community obviously, but people in it or people who agree with this, is you got to do it all or you're anti-whatever. Well, there's a lot of people that call me anti-vax, and I'm certainly not, because my child does get certain vaccines. But you're totally alienating me by lecturing me based on my wife and I. Her mother's a nurse, certainly has strong opinions about it. We've consulted all sorts of people. We have a very good family friend who was an Army nurse for years. We've consulted her on many things. We're not, but when you say you're anti-whatever, it just pushes people into a corner. So we got to figure out to have a conversation where we can get some consensus on this, because it's really putting parents in a horrible position who want to do the right thing and just want to know what the correct information is.
It was interesting during the press conference because Donald Trump was saying, Robert Kennedy Jr., he's not going to say some of the things, but I will. I'll say it. And he was advising Donald Trump, pregnant women, to avoid Tylenol. He said unless medically necessary. He called it not good. And he said he's just making these statements for him. He's not making them for all of the doctors. And then he, like you mentioned, he advocated for childhood vaccines to be spaced out over years rather than have them all at once. Take a listen.
Ideally, a woman won't take Tylenol. And on the vaccines, it would be good, instead of one visit where they pump the baby, load it up with stuff, you'll do it over a period of 4 times or 5 times. I've been so into this issue for so many years just because I couldn't understand how a thing like this could happen. And it's artificially induced. It's not like something that when you go from all of those, healthy babies to a point where I don't even know structurally if a country can afford it. And that's the least of the problems. To have families destroyed over this is just so terrible.
So Robert Kennedy Jr., he was citing different studies suggesting a potential leak, but he did acknowledge that there is still ongoing and continuing research. Harvard's public school of their School of Public Health, they said that they found acetaminophen exposure increases the risk for autism and ADHD. Johns Hopkins discovered that babies with more acetaminophen in their cord blood was nearly 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with autism. And Mount Sinai called the connection that there should warrant warning of the acetaminophen in pregnancy.
Yeah, look,
we're supposed to have hot takes on everything, right? But this is one of those where I see all sides of this because, look, I think there is certainly something to the idea that Livy's generation, they're recommending all these extra things that they weren't recommending to people of my generation. I'm also cognizant, though, that there are new things out there that can affect children that didn't affect my generation or your generation because they just simply didn't exist, and the goal is to protect kids. I will go back to this, though, and I will always use this example when I talk about vaccines, how to handle your kid. So before Gabrielle and I got pregnant, before Gabrielle got pregnant, we were going to have a baby. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm sure somebody out there would be like, oh, Mr. whatever there. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. She got a certain vaccination that she was due for as an adult, and she got it. And when Gabrielle was pregnant, the doctor said, well, you're at a certain point in the pregnancy, you need to get this vaccination for the baby. And Gabrielle and I, said, okay, well, next time we'll think about it, whatever. And so we said, well, wait a second. This is supposed to be, there's supposed to be immunization, or you're supposed to be effective for multiple years. You just got this several months ago. You're well in that window. Whatever antibodies you've got should be passed along to the baby. We'll tell the doctor that, and that's probably the answer. And so next time we went, we told that they said, you want to get this shot? And we said, well, your records, you'll see there, she just got this vaccine, and all the research we're doing shows that this antibodies can be passed on for multiple years, and so she should be fine, and the baby should get those, right? And the doctor's, well, yeah, but we recommend that you get this vaccine.
That's what the book says.
And that's when the family said, no, I'm not. We're telling you our circumstance, which I don't doubt you're saying that for a normal pregnancy, but it just so happened to coincide that she already has this. And the doctor said, well, the book says, and I said, wait, stop. I stopped her in the middle of the sentence. I said, I can read a book. I'm not paying you to read the book. I'm paying you to tell me what your opinion is based on your experience. And that doctor, and God love her, I'm sure they do this because they're worried about lawsuits or whatever, would not come off wouldn't
the instruction manual.
And it was like, okay, this makes me see all this in a totally new light because I'm not anti-vax. I want to do whatever to help my baby, but everything I'm reading is showing that we don't need to do this. And I can't get a straight answer on this.
Okay, so you said, we're in the business. We're supposed to have a take on this. I guess I would have two takes on this. One, I think it's good that there's a dialogue about this.
Yeah.
And I'm happy there is an administration that is putting effort into this. And I had an uncle, and I was talking with him once, and this kind of goes back to a lot of the data that's coming out about Amish, how they're not having this issue. And I had an uncle who said once, and, he worked on a farm. We grew up in a farm near Dayton, Ohio, and the kids and the grandkids were always playing in the farm, playing in the soybean field. And, we would snap the green beans ourselves. And that was dinner. We were always around the fresh agriculture. And my uncle, who was a farmer for many years, he said, I think that's why we grew up so healthy, because we were always outside. We were always around the fresh fruits and vegetables. And that's part of it. It gets into you when you're around it and you're just exposed to it all the time. So I think there may be something there, because you're seeing a lot of the data about how the Amish aren't having this issue. Of course, the maker of Tylenol, they disputed any autism link. They said that they have decades of safety data and support from global health regulators.
Okay, who's the epitome of good health is Jason Hammer.
Is he? He's in next. It's 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, Jimmy Kimmel comes back to ABC like you knew it was going to happen. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC. The kids are heading back to school, and let's be honest, you're finally getting the house to yourself again, which makes now the perfect time to take care of that roof, siding, or gutters you've been putting off. And Moss Roofing is here to help. Moss Roofing has been helping Central Indiana homeowners for 34 years. They're family-owned, locally rooted, and known for doing things right every single time. Free inspections, honest advice, and top-quality work on roofing, siding, gutters, and windows. They treat your home like it's their own, and they clean up like they were never there. repair. That's why they've got great reviews and a loyal following of happy homeowners. So don't put it off any longer. Let Moss Roofing check your roof, your siding, and your gutters to make sure they're ready for the winter ahead. For your free inspection, call 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob, and you know the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk has woke a lot of people in this country, especially young people. And so if you're a parent of a young person, listen up. Life Church would love to invite you to their Next Gen Team 4th Annual Truth Conference. It's a weekend for teens that has three main missions: live worship and breakout sessions where they can ask tough questions about God, the Bible, culture, and relationships. It has great food, amazing prizes, fun games, and a free arcade/coffee bar. No questions off limits. And if you'd like to learn more about this or register your teen for the 4th Annual Truth Conference with Life Church, log on to lifechurchin.com.
There's something timeless about radio. It's where stories are told, ideas are shared, and communities stay connected. Our generation grew up with it, and we still believe in the power of tuning in. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe planning for retirement should feel just as familiar and trusted. That's why we're bringing real conversations and practical advice to the airwaves. Join us every Sunday at 9 p.m. for our Retire with Purpose Radio Hour, right here on 93.1 WIBC. We'll talk about what really matters in retirement, income you can count on, choices you can feel good about, and a future that reflects your values. Because some things, like good planning and good radio, never go out of style. Howard Bailey Financial, retirement planning that speaks your language. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com. The Retire with Purpose Radio Hour is a paid placement on each airing station.
It's the strongest hearts that remind us to cherish the moments. It's the grandmas who made us sit up straighter, the grandpas who showed us old records, and the parents who were embarrassingly loud at our games. It's those hearts that are anything but ordinary. Caring for extraordinary hearts for decades, Franciscan Health knows heart care is more than just a name on a chart. It's somebody who shaped your whole life. Heal your heart today at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade, your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Take the work out of fall cleanup this year at Quality Supply and Tool, where there's a huge Milwaukee Power Tool sale going on until November 2nd while supplies last. Buy the M18 fuel edger, hedge trimmer, pole saw, or pruning shears, and get the M18 Red Lithium XE5 battery free. That's a $169 value. Quality Supply and Tool also has big savings on M18 fuel handheld and backpack blowers, plus 16 and 20-inch battery chainsaws. With locations in Jeffersonville, Bloomington, Lafayette, and South Harding Street in Indy, Quality Supply and Tool thinks outside the box store.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Listen to the Hammer and Nigel Show all this week for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Hard Sunday, March 15th at Fisher's Event Center.
Down on my knees now, wouldn't you, Barracuda?
Hey, did you see your nemesis, the notorious PIG, is back in the news?
Yeah, she is trying to sue Ball State, saying that you can't fire me. I can say whatever I want on my personal Facebook page.
That's Jason Hammer, by the way. It's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. So let's kind of reset for people. This is the greatest nickname in the history of ever. It must get on a Hammer and Nigel t-shirt. Tell everyone who the notorious PIG is.
It's the director of a health program at Ball State, and it's a very large woman. Just a large woman. Like if you put like a curly wig on John Candy in 1986, that's who this woman was, who was in charge of health. Like to me, this is the most like buried the lead story. Yes, she said something idiotic on her social media feed that got her fired, but if you're a major university who's getting state money, this is who's leading your health charge? I mean, again, you wouldn't want me leading a health department. I drink a lot. I gamble. I'm a little overweight. She's 3 times as big as I am.
Yeah, and so you dubbed her the notorious PIG.
Right.
Which we need a notorious PIG for Hammer and Nigel Records.
I may have to work on that.
Yeah, I think that would go great for you guys.
I love it when you call me Big Mama.
So she said some inappropriate things about Charlie Kirk. She got dismissed.
Correct.
And now she's suing over
She's
that.
partnering up with the Good Time Party Boys at the ACLU.
Always a fun group of people.
Oh, just the best, right?
Yeah, the ACLU, they're seeking expungement of her termination record. She's also seeking damages and no reinstatement to her former position. She doesn't want to go back.
So knowing how this thing plays out, right? The ACLU is going to cry and bitch and moan, but at the end of the day, people can be fired for whatever reason in the state of Indiana. And no one is saying that she can't have a Facebook page. No one is saying that she needs to be shadow banned or doxxed or any of that kind of stuff. But if you embarrass yourself, thus the university, you can be suspended or terminated. Like if I went on my personal Facebook page and said something just completely ridiculous that ticked off the brass at Urban One, they could fire me for that.
Totally.
You know, like, and look, the First Amendment protects me from not going to jail. I'm not going to go to jail, but I'm also not going to have a paycheck.
That's right.
So I don't know how long this is going to last. It seems like it's a lot of theater here, but we haven't heard the end of the notorious PIG.
All right, we got a sports betting podcast that's going to drop later today, The Degenerates Next Door. I hate this because I got to pick games I'm not going to be able to watch because the Ryder Cup's on all weekend.
See, I get that you like golf, but this is like the best weekend of college football.
The best weekend of golf!
It's not the best weekend in golf.
It is! The Ryder
It's not
Cup
better than Masters weekend. Shut up.
It is.
You're embarrassing yourself.
The Ryder Cup is now the...
You know, Jerry Lopez was right. Jerry Lopez was right about everything. It's not the best weekend in golf, and it's not better than college football this weekend.
Watching a bunch of Americans scream at Europeans for 3 whole days because it's in the United States this year, that is unbeatable. But yes, the big game is Penn State and Oregon.
Right. And then you've also got Georgia and Alabama. You've got Ole Miss, LSU, IU. Very tricky game at Iowa. Iowa's tough to play at. So, man, the schedule is loaded this weekend. Some great games, and we'll pick some of the big ones on the Degenerates Next Door podcast, which drops right around 1 o'clock this afternoon.
And speaking of dropping this afternoon, another Hammer and Nigel show drops this afternoon.
Yes, we've got tickets to give away for Heart playing at the FEC, the Fishers Event Center.
Yes.
We're going to play a game called Member of Heart or Famous for a Fart. And we've got my friend Danny Z from Outkick and Caller Roulette this afternoon.
That's his name, Danny Z?
Zach Shesky.
Oh, there we go.
So we just call him Danny Z.
Smart. It's going to be a loaded show. Thank you, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
I'm gonna check a freight train. Of all the times to buy a new Lincoln, right now is the very best time at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Corsair, Nautilus, or Aviator. Plus get a $1,000 Tom Roush Trade Assist bonus. So come get that new Lincoln from Tom Roush Lincoln, where our family's been serving yours for over 53 years.
36-month, 10,000-mile-per-year lease. 2,500 due at signing. No security deposit required. All offers subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details. Ends 9/30/25.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Weekday mornings at 7:15, the Tony Katz Popcorn Moment. Brought to you by Boer Remodeling. Don't wait any longer for the kitchen you've been dreaming of. Request a consultation at boerremodeling.com.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, what Google is deciding on with their data center proposal in Franklin Township. Also, who police arrested for a shooting over the weekend that injured multiple people. That and more coming up on 93 WIBC. It's 11 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. President Trump is on the world stage. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We're the hottest country anywhere in the world, and there is no other country even close.
And as he called for an end to the wars in Gaza and Ukraine, the president also touted what he's done for peace.
I ended 7 wars.
And President Trump listed each conflict as he addressed the UN General Assembly.
And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them.
Then the president joked.
These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter.
As he was forced to look down to read his speech, the president also blamed the UN for helping illegal immigrants who crossed into the U.S. And he railed against climate change, calling it a hoax.
It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion.
And the president is on stage still at the General Assembly touting the tariffs he's imposed on imports coming into the U.S. Just before the General Assembly convened, the Secret Service announced it's disrupted a hidden communications network with hundreds of servers.
They say the network enabled encrypted anonymous communication and was capable of sending 30 million text messages per minute, powerful enough to disable cell phone towers and launch denial of services attacks. They also had the ability to block emergency communications like EMS and police dispatch.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Before his UN speech, the president canceled a meeting with the Democratic leaders of the House and Senate a week before a deadline for Congress to approve new funding to avert a government shutdown. In the Trump post on Truth Social, he wrote, "A meeting can't possibly be productive until radical left Democrats get more realistic." At Ryan Ruth's trial, the federal prosecutor in closing arguments told the jury this morning the evidence has shown one thing. Ryan Ruth wanted President Trump dead. Ruth is defending himself, charged in the second assassination attempt last year in Florida while the president was a candidate. Ruth will give his own closing argument. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Withdrawing their proposal. It's mostly cloudy, 69 on Monument Circle, a high of 79 for today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. This report brought to you by Gutter Helmet. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Google's plan of building a data center in Franklin Township is no more after announcing at last night's Indianapolis City County Council meeting that they withdrew their proposal.
They want no opposition. So when people stand together, when they come together, and there's the power of the people standing united.
That's Meredith Sharp, who organized a group against the data center proposal. Google wanted to rezone more than 460 acres of farmland on the southeast side of Indianapolis for the $1 billion project. Police say a man opened fire into a crowd outside outside a Jimmy John's in Indianapolis last weekend, then fired again at 2 people. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Prosecutors say Carlos Contreras is facing attempted murder charges after shooting in the parking lot outside the restaurant. Police say he fired into a crowd during a car show and then shot 2 of the injured men again when they were on the ground. Witnesses said a black Charger sped off and officers chased it until it got stuck on some railroad tracks. Inside the car, police found 2 guns, one modified to fire automatically, along with a bag of drugs. Contreras was arrested at the scene. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A Fort Wayne police officer is now in recovery after being stabbed by someone last night on the city's northwest side. The officer was taken to a hospital in serious condition after being stabbed while responding to a domestic incident. The suspect then was shot by responding officers. Their conditions are unknown as of this morning. The Colts are looking at a 4-0 start to the season. They could get it with a win over the Rams this upcoming weekend. Head coach Shane Steichen on how he and quarterback Daniel Jones have jailed to start the year.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of conversation going back and forth on certain looks. He'll text me some things. I'll text in some things. So, yeah, it's just good ongoing conversation throughout the week in the meeting rooms, outside the meeting rooms.
Meanwhile, cornerback Kenny Moore is out for a few weeks with a bum calf, and wide receiver Alec Pierce is day-to-day in concussion protocol. The Cincinnati Reds are starting a pivotal series with the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. They have to keep on winning as they are vying for that last playoff spot in the National League, which they currently hold over the New York Mets thanks to a tiebreaker. The Mets are in Chicago for a new series with the Cubs starting tonight. And it's Game 2 of the WNBA semifinals this evening as the Indiana Fever take on the Las Vegas Aces. The Fever lead the series 1-0 after Sunday's win. Tip-off tonight is at 9:30 Eastern. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Pat Sullivan here for Gutter Helmet. Are you still putting screens on your gutters? You know, if the holes are too big, debris gets in, and you're still cleaning your gutters. If the holes are too small, it sits on top, and now you're cleaning the screens. I have Gutter Helmet on my home, and it has no holes, slots, or screens. It keeps the debris out and the water in. Since 1981, Gutter Helmet has been America's #1 choice for gutter protection. Right now, Gutter Helmet is offering a 17% discount plus 12 months, no interest financing if paid in full within 12 months. Call 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, to schedule a free estimate. 17% off, restrictions apply, and cannot be combined with other offers. Call Gutter Helmet today at 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, or gutterhelmetindy.com, and never clean your gutters again.
This hour powered by Family Heating and Air, your American Standard Air dealer. Nobody cares for you like family.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So we've got a big update in the Jimmy Kimmel saga.
Yeah. So it was announced that Sinclair was going to preempt the airing of Jimmy Kimmel Tonight because he's going to be back on ABC. And now some breaking news. Nexstar is saying, yeah, they're going to join Sinclair and they're going to preempt the programming as well.
So Nexstar had what, 31 stations?
Sinclair had 31.
Sinclair had 31. Nexstar has how many?
What was it? 28 ABC affiliates. They have 200 TV stations total, but 28 affiliates are ABC.
Okay, so basically now there are 60-ish ABC affiliates between Nexstar and Sinclair that will not air Jimmy Kimmel's program. So the question to you, because you're the TV expert here, having spent a long time in television, is one, late night is clearly dying anyway. See Colbert out. The big rumor was Kimmel's going to go to next. You know, the numbers are horrible. Why is any of this worth it? I mean, it's not like people are tuning in droves for these people. It's not like you have some ratings juggernaut who's like, oh, man, this person stepped in it, but we got to have them. We'll try to make good. Like, why are they pursuing this when clearly, one, you're going to lose some of these people altogether because they're not airing it, but two, the thing you're dying on the hill for isn't producing for you.
Now you're saying, why are they pursuing it? Do you mean ABC?
Right.
Why are they pursuing it?
Yes, like why is it
right,
this point?
That's a great question.
Because Jimmy Kimmel, again, I don't think he is, or it's like, hey, larger than life personality, the brand itself, by brand, I mean late night television is dying. Like, it's just, people don't need to see something anymore. Like there's very few things other than real world events where if you miss it, you're totally out of touch with society, right? Sporting events, okay, real world things, the funeral over the weekend, whatever. But all of that stuff, you can go back and watch it anytime you want. And late night television is just not that. It's not that in any shape, form, or fashion. And I don't get, especially with all these affiliates pulling out, how you're going to market that and make that work with 60 people not, how you're going to make that work long term.
Well, apparently, Jimmy Kimmel had a private meeting with Bob Iger from Disney, and it would be interesting to see what they came up with. There were a lot of stipulations, like Sinclair wanted him to apologize and wanted him to donate some money to Turning Point USA, and clearly that's not going to happen. He's going to mention it tonight in his monologue, but he's not going to apologize. So you got to wonder, what did Bob Iger see the benefit of the show for bringing him back?
Well, the whole television business, right? I mean, you just like here's a great, like and again, this is much more your world than mine. I don't understand the television business anymore anyway. Not that I was ever some sort of, expert in it, but having a career in radio, I had a cursory knowledge. The two sort of went along the same path for a while. But like, for example, ESPN does this massive investment in World Wrestling Entertainment, TKO. And now they used to be called pay-per-views. Now they're called PLEs, I think premium live events, which used to be this monthly thing, are now housed through ESPN and through their application, et cetera. Well, they have this first event in Indianapolis over the weekend at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and it's so underwhelming that even ESPN, which is their launch of this thing, right? Tune in. This is this new thing we're doing. They're like, it was kind of underwhelming. We're going to give that grade a C. That's them. The most biased people in the room that are marketing the thing give it a C. Like, so what is the business model where you're investing in something and your debut launch is so underwhelming, you give it a C? Like, what is the business model? So because of the streaming side of it, with television now, which is kind of connected, but it's also totally separate, I don't understand the television business model and long-term how it works for most anybody anyway.
The putts, the person's using television. I mean, it's the same thing we have here, right? You can enjoy us on our YouTube feed. That goes to our radio ratings, the broadcast, right? So I don't know, like...
You're supposed to be the TV expert, Casey.
Well, they got to fill it with something, right? So... they'd be better off just choosing some local programming, some local news. And that's why you have these television stations have a 4 p.m. news, a 5 p.m. news, a 6 p.m. news, and then they come back at 10 o'clock. So just rebroadcast that. You'd probably get better ratings.
So it has to come back to they like his politics. ABC is still, because the only logical reason, when you factor in the PETA level, the pain in the ass level, which is high, the drama you're getting, you're losing almost 60 affiliates. The ratings it's not like it's some, like I said, juggernaut anyway. The only logical conclusion to this is they really like what he does, which is mostly vile leftist politics anymore. He's not funny. He used to be, which pains me. I mean, the Man Show was phenomenal. The Crank Anchor stuff was off the charts good. And yet now Jimmy Kimmel is just a rotten, miserable person who doesn't move the needle in terms of the ratings enough to justify any of this.
So in a statement, Disney said that the suspension was meant to avoid inflaming a tense situation.
So they weren't even mad he did it. They just wanted it to go away.
They just wanted to calm down for a minute.
It's almost like very similar in a sense to what Google's trying to do, or appears to be trying to do, with the data center here in Indianapolis.
Everybody just calm down. We'll come back, and hopefully you'll be bored with this topic and you'll have moved on, and then Google will end up being successful in what they want anyway.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because I think sometimes his brain is moving so fast. It's just brilliant how all the things come together.
Sure.
Or if you missed early in the program, we started our show talking about the big win for the people of Franklin Township last night, in which Google pulled their vote, their application from the city county council meeting to put this $1 billion, hundreds of acres data center complex in Franklin Township, and people are celebrating. And what kind of came to light was they pulled the application, not because they're necessarily done, but if it gets voted on and they lose, they're done for a year. If they pulled it last night, which they did, they essentially have 2 weeks to still sway 2 more counselors, which they need.
To go their way.
Or if they then back out on their own without a vote, they only have to wait 3 months, so they can work for 3 months. So they're not giving in because they're like, hey, we've heard the people and we're out of here. They're like, well, it'll be strategic to, it's like, here's a great example. So my point in all this is there's always some motive with things, right? There's always some, and by the way,
everybody's got an agenda all the time, of course.
Yeah.
Google has more time and money, and they can wait it out.
So can I issue a warning to my Google friends, by the way, my friends in Franklin Township dealing with the Google people? Because I have a little experience with this. So remember a couple years ago when they built the school built the road in my neighbor's backyards, essentially, and it runs right along these fields, which is egregious. And this was what 2.5 years ago now. This Brownsburg school system, it didn't affect me at all, but people I've known for years were having this road the school wanted to build, which was going to be a heavily trafficked road, backing right up to these people's backyards. And so I went in their defense and tried to help those people because I care about my neighbors. And because they were asking for a zoning change, they were going to tear these houses down, build a roundabout, and spin these cars off onto our street. They had to go through the town planning commission, which meant a public hearing, which meant I got to get up and speak. And we crushed the school system because there's all these things they were not abiding by, they needed to be abiding by in order to get a zoning change. And so what they did, and we pleaded with them, said, look, just meet with us, meet with the residents of the street. We'll all come to agreement. I'm sure there's some way we can all work together and figure out concessions that can be made. Instead of doing that, what those rotten little bastards did is they figured out, hey, the only reason Rob gets to speak is because we're asking for a zoning change. If we just give in on the roundabout and don't tear those houses down, we'll still get our road because we know we can bulldoze.
But without public comment.
Without public comment. So they spent the whole month, and I think the number I came up with, there was like 8 attorneys that came to the next meeting. And their whole thing was, okay, we'll give in on that roundabout and not ask for the zoning change, but then he can't object and refute all the crap we throw at these planning commission people. And what do you know? They got the road, it passed. There was objection from the people who were paying attention, but they still got to do the damage. My point with the people in Franklin Township is Google's not giving up. They didn't give in because, we heard you and they won. I guarantee you they're plotting right now how to figure out a way to get this thing through. So you people need to be hyper vigilant at all times because government or these megacorps who are using government, they never quit. They never stop.
Well, right now they're probably trying to determine what incentives they need to offer some, I don't know, maybe some counselors who have less conviction, who may flip towards their direction.
I think the other thing that can't be underscored, what they're also going to do is they're going to try to sweeten the concession pot. And they're going to go back to the school and they'll go back to the city and go, whoa. And this was always the laughable thing to me. You're talking about a company that's going to build $1 billion complex. They're going to spend $1 billion to build this thing. And we were acting like $1 million was some big thing that they were giving away to various causes or entities or whatever. They could do $50 million. And what's it called, Casey, if you give it away for free or on the cheap? What does that make you? If you give it up for cheap or easy. There's starts with a W. Rhymes with bore.
I'm not saying it.
Oh!
I am not saying
That's
it.
basically what
Don't get me in trouble. I'm a Republican in good standing.
They've told me before you can say that. I've asked specifically.
I'm not saying it.
Well, they've told me you could say that.
I'm not
I've
saying
asked.
it. You say it.
I know enough to ask the words if I'm allowed to say them. Anyway, my point is they were taking the city, and apparently the school system was because they gave in. We'll refer to it as a cheap date. How about that?
Okay.
Very good. And the answer is you should look, the city should never give in until the following things are made clear. Exactly to the public what Google is getting incentives-wise, and then how long it takes for break even, much less them paying any sort of property tax, benefit to the area. and then what the actual water and electrical use is for that complex, and how the water provider and the electric provider are going to ensure that there is never an rate increase to the residents because of the data center being there. Until all that's settled, we shouldn't even be willing to have any further conversations.
Two things about that. One, there was an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement that was signed, so they're not going to come out with that information. And do they even know about the water and electricity?
Well, they should
do
be able to.
Do they even know?
If they can't even lie about it, well. Yeah. All right, so there was an interesting survey about Trump.
Yes, this was a presidential survey.
Wait, let's take a break. I want to make sure I've got this right. There's a survey about Trump, and there's something inside the survey
that you were
talking about.
More interesting than the actual numbers, and we've got to talk about that coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the morning news. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
It's Terry Stacy, and not too many locally owned businesses in central Indiana have been around 80 years. But Cardwell Do It Best on the south side has stood the test of time. Congratulations to Jeff Cardwell and Cardwell Do It Best, recently named 2025 Member of the Year by Do It Best. Autumn brings about whole new to-do lists, and Cardwell Do It Best has everything you need and even stuff you didn't know you needed, like extra keys. They make keys, including programmable keys and key fobs. Cardwell is your discount roofing headquarters, featuring dimensional roofing as low as $21 per bundle. And for the yard, find a full line of trusted lawn and garden products and Milwaukee M18 fuel cordless power tools. Come celebrate 80 years strong at Cardwell Do It Best. Locally owned, community trusted, and always ready to help you do it best. 3205 Madison Avenue. Shop online where you'll find over 67,000 products with free shipping at CardwellHomeCenter.com. You ready to build your custom dream home? Check out Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield. See one of their model homes in person anytime. It is a great way for you to experience the customization and quality of a Joyner Homes custom-built home. Plus, you can meet with a new home specialist to learn about their building process. Available lots if you don't already have one. Find out about floor plans and where they build. Model homes are open 7 days a week from noon to 5, and walk-ins are welcome. Find out more at JoynerHomes.com.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
There's just something special about late summer at Wilson Farm Market. The sweet corn's still crisp, the tomatoes are juicy, and the cucumbers taste just like the summer should. Stop by with the family, fill your basket with fresh produce, grab some hot, fresh fried chicken, pick up homemade jams, and select from hundreds of cheeses to make every meal something special. And don't forget that famous pretzel bread. It's always a hit at the dinner table. 20 minutes north of Carmel on 31 in Arcadia. Online at wilsonfarmmarket.com. That's wilsonfarmmarket.com.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
Okay, so tell me all about this poll involving Trump and then the thing about the poll that's more interesting than the poll itself.
Sure. First, we have to discuss the methodology. This survey was done between September 17th through the 20th. The sample size was 1,100 U.S. adults, so they've got a margin of error plus minus 3 percentage points. The breakdown, 30% Republicans, 29% Democrats, 32% independents, and then 9% non-voters. And if I look to see who did the survey, it was American Research Group, Inc., and they do a national monthly survey. So do you want to talk about the findings or the weird thing about the survey?
Both. Let's do both. Give me the findings first.
Okay, here are the findings. Presidential job approval. 37% of Americans approve of the way Donald Trump is handling his job as president. 58% disapprove. 5% are undecided.
All right, one more time.
37% of Americans approve.
Yep.
58% disapprove.
That's Trump's actual just job approval.
Job approval, right. How he's handling the job of president. And the 37% is the lowest that it's been since, well, the lowest ever, pretty much. He was at a high mark in March where he was at 45%. Now he's down to 37%.
Okay, so I was going to say, we've kind of seen in most polls Trump coming in somewhere between 40 and 45%.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of said, well, if you take that as the barometer, you just put it in the middle, he's probably about 42. Now, it's been a few weeks since we've talked about one of these polls. I don't think Trump has certainly done anything to elevate himself. This seems a little low, although it's not like completely an outlier to where you're like, this is so outside the mainstream.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's why it's important to look at the party breakdown, the methodology, because obviously if you've got 70% are Democrats, well, clearly it's going to trend low. But this was split pretty even, 30, 29, 32 of the party breakdown.
What was it again?
It was the party breakdown was 30% Republicans, 29 Democrats, and 32 independents.
All right, so at least on paper, that's pretty good. So again, like I said, Trump is probably hovering around 40% at this point, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
But what's fascinating to me about Trump's approval rating is what's he going to do to raise it? Because he already had his big shot, which is the big bullcrap bill, which, while it's certainly in the legalized vote buying that took place and there helped certain sections of the populace, most people, because the Republicans were throwing it together so fast and on the fly, didn't explain at all to people, one, what's actually in the bill, two, how it helps. And what people kind of know is, hey, a bunch of benefits did get slashed, at least on paper. And obviously then the media spins, hey, it's tax breaks for the wealthy. And when your big thing is unpopular with the public, I don't know how you elevate yourself when you spent so much capital and did so much heavy lifting to get that thing across the finish line.
Well, let's talk about the economic outlook, and they're saying the next 12 months. Only 14% expect that the national economy will get better, 18% expect it to stay the same, and 61% expect it to be worse. So there's some negativity there with the economy.
Well, and the mood is as big a factor. It's just like your life, right? Your perception of something is every bit as important, if not more, than the reality which you're experiencing. And the perception for the public. And don't underestimate the weight that the tariffs have played in all of this. Because people notice now things are getting more expensive, and Trump gave it away that he can't put it on Biden anymore because now they'll just say tariffs, right? It was Biden. Well, now you're in charge, buddy, and you did this mega thing, and companies are coming out saying, hey, remember we did the thing on Walmart about things that were going to be more expensive, and food prices, and all of these things that people, industries are directly, or companies are directly blaming on the tariffs. So now Trump can't deflect on Biden anymore, and that's the biggest thing for people, is not being able to afford living.
Right, there's not a scapegoat. And talking about affording, living, only 17% say that the economy is excellent, very good, or good. 79% rated as bad, very bad, or terrible. But the interesting thing about this entire survey, that's the number portion of it. But I wanted to take note of this. The survey said the survey has lost subscribers due to concerns over publishing unfavorable results.
Okay, say that again.
The survey has lost subscribers due to concerns over publishing unfavorable results.
Okay, when you say subscribers, do you mean people who are subscribing to the survey, like they're getting the survey, or people who are participating in the survey?
Our national monthly survey on presidential performance and the economy has lost subscribers over concerns that any unfavorable results may upset the current administration. So that's people doing the survey. Taking the survey. They're afraid if they come in and say, no, he's not doing a good job, that somewhere they're on a list and that information is going to get back to the Trump administration.
That's fascinating, because that was sort of the thing for years. It's switched now. That was the thing for years with Trump, where they were like, how does he always overperform the surveys? And the answer seemed to be there's a lot of people, at least early on with Trump, were petrified to say what they thought because they thought it would get out, and they didn't want to be embarrassed or shamed by saying they were voting for Trump. And now what you're saying is it's flipped, where people are just simply not participating because they don't want to be on the record as opposing Trump.
Results may upset the current administration.
Ooh, that's big scary, isn't it?
Right.
Well, we touched on this several times today. And the past week or so, the absolutism in people. And anytime you put someone in a box where they've got to be an absolute absolutist, or they're somehow a failure or not good enough. Take, for example, what I went through Sunday. I've spent a week and a half telling 50,000 people a day what a great guy Charlie Kirk was, the impact he had, all the good things he did, the blah, 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 right? Like every day we were doing something on Charlie Kirk. And yet, on Sunday, when I'm just trying to enjoy myself with my daughter and my wife, and I'm watching the Colts game, and I'm watching the Bears game, and I'm doing some stuff online, having some fun tweeting about things that are interesting to me, I've got some woman from Hamilton County mom barking at me that you need to put the phone down and watch the Charlie Kirk funeral.
You're not mourning enough.
Yeah. Hey, lady, I'll do whatever I damn well please. And I think I've done more than my fair share to tell everybody about Charlie Kirk. And you know what that made me want to do? Not watch any of it. And it starts to change your opinion. Like, okay, if these are the hardcore people, that's a horrible representation. Same thing we talked about with the vaccine people, where I'm not anti-vax, but when you're barking at me all the time about if I don't give my kid every vaccine, or because I chose not to get the COVID shot, it makes me want to be more, or think I should be more anti-vax, because people recoil when you demand the absolutism and there's no wiggle room whatsoever.
They go on to say, we need your support to continue providing unbiased insights. Please join us in continuing this monthly survey. Now, you could take that as, they're just trying to garner more people to take the survey.
Well, it could be, but I don't think that's that off on that case. I think there's a lot of people who are worried about crossing this administration now, and I think they've seen some things that have happened, and I think in some cases maybe they have good reason to.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got the FCC guy coming out and saying the things he's saying, and it's people like, oh, no, thank you.
It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A data center defeat. I'm Sherrod Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30, brought to you by Moss Roofing. Google is pulling their proposal to build a $1 billion data center in Franklin Township. Indianapolis City County Council member Ron Gibson credited Hoosiers who were against the project for speaking up.
People of Franklin Township have been heard. They have concerns, and I'm not sure that Google did a good enough job of answering the questions and laying out the facts.
Council did not need to debate or vote on the issue. IMPD says a man who fired into a crowd outside of Jimmy John's in Indianapolis last weekend is now facing attempted murder charges. Carlos Contreras was arrested for the shooting that injured at least 3 people. The ACLU says they are representing the woman who was fired by Ball State University last week over insensitive comments she made about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And the Fever are battling the Aces tonight in Las Vegas in their semifinal playoff series. Tip-off of Game 2 is at 9:30 Eastern Time. I'm Sherrod Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring dream engagement rings to life every day in our jeweler's workshop. When I hand set your diamond into your ring, I think about creating a piece you'll wear for a lifetime. I pay attention to the smallest details and treat every ring with the same care and craftsmanship, no matter the size or price. Come check us out at your nearby store. Our engagement rings are made with love from our hands to yours, because a friend knows your love deserves the highest quality. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hello, my name is Nate Clancy. I'm with Labor's Local 120. I've been with Labor's Local 120 for over 40 years now.
For members of Labor's International Union of North America, giving back is part of their commitment to the Indy community, like helping the Soapbox Derby.
We painted the bridge. The Wilbershaw Bridge is an iconic bridge for the Soapbox Derby. It's been there forever. It was, needing work.
When Indy or surrounding communities need help, LIUNA steps up.
Members that went over there, we seen that it was needing work, power washed, done the painting, just anything that was needed, and it looks amazing now.
This is Chris Bricky, business manager of Labor's Local 120. While all our members are skilled, highly trained men and women, we are also your friends, neighbors, Little League coaches, and volunteers here in Indy.
Here at the local, I like volunteering in the community. Just every little bit helps. I really got a real joy of doing that.
We build Indy for good jobs and stronger communities. We are LIUNA Local 120.
Casey, let's do a little joint exercise together, shall we?
Okay, what do you got?
I'll need you to be the honesty commission in this little thing I'm about to do here. Are you ready for this?
Okay, sure.
I so love Universal Windows Direct and what they do and the products they offer, and I'm so into it. I bet I can do this whole promo without looking at any script whatsoever.
Okay.
That's how much I believe in Universal Windows
My
Direct.
eyes are up here.
Are you ready? Here
Yeah.
we go. All right. Casey, it is, fall is right around the corner.
It's
and
here.
And that means winter will be here before you know it. And that means your windows now more than ever are going to need to be in tip-top shape so you can get the cold, drafty feel all winter long. That's where our friends at Universal Windows Direct come in. See, right now, have I broken eye contact?
Nope.
No, at no point.
Right
Here we
here.
go. Listen to this. For every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 windows for free. No limit. Then on top of that, 0% financing for 3 whole years. That means no interest for 36 months. And last, but certainly not least, see, my eyes still haven't left yours, $500 off your entire home improvement project. So let's review. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. 0% financing, 36 months, 3 years, and $500 off your entire home improvement project. Call today. Schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation. Hey, don't mess with me. My eyes are still not leaving yours. Some restrictions may apply. Get all the details. 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. Check them out on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com. My eyes never left yours.
Excellent job, even while you drank that water.
The most extraordinary thing a woman can do is let herself be human. We try to do it all, sure, but what if we're just not feeling it? Like when the fatigue hits, but you gotta bring snacks to the soccer game? Or when the laundry's piling up, but that hot flash says, too bad. We get it. Franciscan Health has care for extraordinary women who can do it all, but don't have to. Visit franciscanhealth.org/OBGYN today.
20 ribeyes for $35. That's 20 ribeyes for $35 at 2 locations in Indianapolis going on now. 20 ribeyes for only $35 at the corner of South Emerson and Thompson Road. Just look for the big truck. Also in the Hardee's parking lot at the corner of Brookville Road and South Arlington Avenue. Also on the big truck is cases of T-bones, fillets, New York strips, burgers, and a whole lot more. Big truck sale. Marinated chicken breasts too. Don't wait. Big steak sale at 2 different locations at the corner of South Emerson and Thompson Road. Also in the Hardee's parking lot at the corner of Brookville Road and South Arlington Avenue. 20 ribeyes for just $35. Don't wait. Everything must go. Big truck sale. That's 20 ribeyes for $35 at the corner of South Emerson and Thompson Road. Also in the Hardee's parking lot at the corner of Brookville Road and South Arlington Avenue. Get there before the truck is gone.
For your free system replacement analysis, give Family a call today at 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
If you stopped paying your financial advisor, would they still be your friend? A different look at retirement planning with Greg Ayler. Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
Did you see what happened to Donald Trump speaking at the UN?
No.
As he arrived at the UN, the escalator stopped working the moment he stepped on it. And then when he got up to speak, the teleprompter stopped working the moment he got up to the podium.
I can see him now. It's okay, I'll take the stairs. Tip-top shape. All the walking that I do. Take the stairs.
Does he even use a teleprompter? You know he goes off script.
Oh, well, this is the thing about Trump is prompter Trump actually can give a pretty good speech.
Yeah.
And prompter Trump, when he stays disciplined, I know it's a huge stretch, right? But prompter Trump, when he just stays with the thing. Now, the one thing I don't like about Trump with the prompter, he will do it on the big speeches, but he'll be going and he'll be reading and I'm just making stuff up the Ukraine is our friend. Ukraine, very fabulous weather this time of year. Right. I've been there before. It's fabulous. But again, they're our friend. We got he'll get, and then he'll detour. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that prompter guy is stop, start.
Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, exactly. They should really just bullet point his
I'm not
speech.
even reading anymore. I lost my place. I did that for 5 minutes. Kind of boring.
Let's get back on track.
Ted died.
What did he call that? He called that the weave, right? When he weaves in and out of topics.
Yeah, I mean, and look, with most politicians, obviously, it's it's they are on the prompter to a T. They're highly trained to read, and you're like, oh, it's
you
kind of
definitely
robotic.
don't want to misspeak at the UN.
Well, you guys, the UN. Let me take a stab at it, what it would sound like. The UN. It's stood up for humanity for generations. Although you guys blew it in Iraq.
Right.
I told you, not even close that Saddam had those nuclear weapons. Not even close. I can't believe you fell for Colin Powell.
Imagine the person being the controller of the teleprompter. You would be like, get me out of here. Oh, my gosh. Okay, let's talk about this story. Many Americans feel economically stuck, unable to buy homes, switch jobs, or relocate. Some contributing factors, they say, are the high borrowing costs, fewer job openings, political and economic uncertainty, and also high housing prices. Of course, you had the Federal Reserve rate cut, but that was just a little baby one. So it really had limited impact, right?
Okay, so again, what did the survey actually say? What was the kind of the detail?
The gist of it, many Americans can't buy homes, get jobs, or move in this stuck economy.
You have no hope. Sorry, Kevin. No hope whatsoever. One of the, we've kind of gone into this before, but one of the great, I think it does go to why maybe Trump is doing so poorly, and some of the polling that we've talked about is not that there's dire conditions on the ground. There's just not any optimism. There's no, here's where this thing is ending, right? So let's go back to when the financial collapse happened in 2008, 2009. People were looking at this going, oh my gosh, what's happening? You sort of kind of believed, hey, they'll bail this thing out to the point, and it'll be a new frontier, and things won't be the same anymore, but we'll get out of this eventually.
Sure.
You kind of believed in the aftermath of 9/11, hey, this is catastrophic to the economy, and things are going to take a hit, but we're America. We'll rebuild. We'll do what needs to be done. We'll get through this. You just don't have any optimism of how things are going to get better when it comes to the affordability of living. And that's the thing that is out of control. There's no condition on the ground right now where you say chaos that should be causing the inflation. It's all actions of the government, and the government is showing no signs of doing anything that's going to pull the reins in on the things that are causing this stuff. So people are just like, how does this get better?
Where do we go from here? Hiring has slowed a lot. Just 88,000 jobs have been added in the past 3 months. Job switching, which you would typically do if you wanted to get higher wages, you just got to change your job and ask for more money. That has declined. And now job stayers are receiving better raises than job switchers, which is a reversal from a normal trend. 63% of Americans say it's a bad time to find a job, and that coming from the Washington Post.
That's an interesting job stayers are doing better than job
switchers.
And I wonder if that's because, and you know this because you were in management for years, it's so expensive to bring somebody new in that if you got somebody who's doing the job in a fairly decent level and you can't replace them with technology, you almost just say, would it be easier to give this person an extra couple bucks versus having to bring somebody else in?
That makes total sense.
Yeah, see, that's what you need to do, Kev. You need to march your backside into Matt Hiblin's office when we get done here today and say, you're up against the wall, buddy. You're up against the wall. No, John, no chance. Anybody can do this job like me. $2 extra.
So this article is also saying that spending and life decisions are on hold. And Rob, maybe you can speak to this. They say that they're delaying purchases like appliances. But that's the thing, though. If you need a refrigerator, you're going to get a refrigerator.
Well,
somehow.
I wonder this, too, like the secondary market, because I had a long nothing matters. It doesn't matter to me if anything matches in my house. But my wife gave me very emphatic orders that whatever fridge because the people in the house before us had all nice stuff. And I was like, this isn't going to last in this house. And so I think my wife accepted that when this refrigerator went out, the new fridge was not going to be as nice, but it didn't need to be. But she was very adamant. She was like,
it's got to match.
Do not come back with a black refrigerator or a white. It has to be stainless steel, right? Like that was the one. She's like, and she knew me. She's like, do not come back with the
I'm surprised you didn't come back with some like 1970s avocado green refrigerator.
Well, I got orders and I adhered to that. But the point is, I wonder for people who are living a little closer to the vest, how if the secondary market now becomes the place where a lot of that stuff happens.
Yeah. Because people are delaying the big purchases or they just can't afford it. The White House still claiming that the stagnation is temporary, blaming Biden-era conditions. But as you mentioned earlier, those days are gone.
Yeah.
You can't just hold on to that forever. At some point, they have to, But Donald Trump keeps saying tariffs are working. We're hotter than ever, right? We're rich, rich, rich. That's what he said during the Charlie Kirk Memorial, that this country is rich, rich, rich. We're making billions of dollars off the tariffs. The question is, when does that trickle down to the American people?
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. All right, let's take a break. What are we doing next? What's going on?
Well, we have to talk about the new astronauts.
Oh,
okay.
New astronauts.
New astronauts.
How exciting.
It's Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon. We're giving away tickets to see Heart. You're going to love the game we play. Also, caller roulette and the biggest stories of the day. 93 WIBC.
Don Fisher for QC Kinetics. I was struggling with chronic knee pain and wasn't encouraged with the options of risky surgery and pain pills. QC Kinetics offered the best option for me, cutting-edge regenerative medicine. Their non-invasive treatment stimulated my body's own biologics so I could be pain-free and get back to doing what I love, playing golf. QC Kinetics has a fantastic success rate, and it's clear to see why so many Hoosiers are happy to tell their story of how they reclaim their lives with the QC Kinetics approach. Ready to live your life pain-free? Go to qckinetics.com/Indianapolis or call 317-559-PAIN and get a no-obligation consultation. QC Kinetics uses the latest technologies, whether it's stem cell, PRP, plasma, or a number of other advanced therapies. Call QC Kinetics. It'll be the best call you will make. Get back in the game, whatever that is for you. Call 317-559-PAIN.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Exercise Inc. I've been working out there now for nearly 2 decades, and let me tell you, it works. I'm in my 70s now, and I'm doing things on the farm that I couldn't even do in my 40s. Lifting and carrying, working the way I want to, without worrying if my body can keep up. Now that's real strength. That's real results. What makes Exercise Inc. different? Well, it's the people. The professional staff, many with over 15 years of experience, know exactly how to guide me, support me, and push me to be my very strongest because they know what works. It only takes 20 minutes a week. No wasted time, no crowded gyms, just real results. If you're tired of feeling weaker, if you want more energy and strength for everyday life, give this a try. The consultation is free, and I can promise you it's worth it. Exercise Inc. It's helped me stay strong for nearly 20 years. They can help you too. Go to exerciseinc.com today to sign up. They've got locations in Avon, Brownsburg, Zionsville, and Greenwood, and in Fishers, too. That's exerciseinc.com.
At Andy Moore Ford, you're going to get more. Much, much more. With the Get More Guarantee, you always get more savings, more selection, and more for your trade. Buy your vehicle 100% online. Just go to Andy Moore, M-O-H-R, AndyMooreFord.com, and Andy Moore will deliver that car right to your door. Drive off in a new Ford F-150 XL truck for under $40,000 with over 100 vehicles to choose from. And if you rely on commercial trucks for your business, you have to check out Andy Moore Ford. The whole commercial center they've built to make sure your Ford truck or van fits your business needs is absolutely incredible. From medium to heavy-duty F-Series trucks. And they've got the biggest selection of Super Duty trucks in the state. Over 175 Super Duty trucks on the ground and ready to work for you. Talk to Andy Moore Ford, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
Do you have an idea for a book, fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Weekday mornings at 7:15, the Tony Katz Popcorn Moment. Brought to you by Boer Remodeling. Don't wait any longer for the kitchen you've been dreaming of. Request a consultation at BoerRemodeling.com.
The Home and Garden Show hits the road again this week, and they're headed to the Atlanta New Earth Festival in Atlanta, Indiana. Join Pat Denny and the gang this Saturday from 9 till 1 in the center of Atlanta, just 7 miles north of Cicero and Morse Reservoir.
You don't know what's going on.
So what, I'm living my life on autopilot? Is that what you're telling me?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. It's actually not me telling you. It is a new study. Nearly 90% of your daily life runs on autopilot. I can see that.
How much? What percentage?
90%. It's actually 88%, so nearly 90%.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
About 2/3 of your behaviors are triggered by habit rather than a choice. You just do it. Exercise. This is the one that surprised me the most. Exercise is more often triggered just by habit, but when you're in the middle of doing it, you're making a conscious effort to get to a certain point of the exercise. Like, okay, I'm going to go for a walk. That's just based out of habit. But to say, I'm going to walk a mile, today I want to get up to 1.5 miles. Tomorrow is 2 miles.
Yeah.
That's the effort that you put in.
What would you say are the things that you do every day that are on autopilot? What's like the standard routine for you? I mean, obviously I would assume
my morning coffee. Coffee in the morning, and just like how I get ready for bed at night.
Yeah.
Brushing your teeth, washing your face, that sort of thing. It's just like the same way. It's just on repeat. I would think like a lot. Like even how I blow dry my hair and apply my makeup, and just the way I drive into work, unless there's a detour on Washington.
It's fascinating. It's like my life when I was self-employed for all those years, like I had no boundaries. And I recognize when you spend very early on, like some people start businesses, but they're started like in the confines of like some sort of structure because they go get loans or whatever. So they got to make it work. They got to set up some sort of, corporate environment, even small businesses, et cetera. Mine was 100%. I started in my bedroom. I started with no money from anybody. So there was always just like, owe anybody anything from the get-go. And it was always just like, okay, I need this amount to live, and I'm doing better than that, and I'm good at saving money. So I kind of just don't like being accountable to anybody. And I realized the complete chaos of my existence from about the ages of 22 really until I ended up here. Now I had the little derailment at the state government for 2 years. I think that's part of why I was so frustrated with the state was everything was so structured, even if it didn't make sense. Like structure's fine, but if structure for just structure's sake and it doesn't make any sense. I used to fight with those guys all the time. Like, this is the most inefficient way to run anything. Well, this is the way we've always done it.
Right.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't need, you must be here. My favorite thing, this is a true story. So I think the hours were 8 to 4:30, and they gave you 30 minutes for lunch.
Right.
And my job when I was the pharmacy board director, because the agency head didn't want me and was sort of thrust upon him by higher ups, they were trying to get me at everything. And so like they were monitoring like the lunch to make sure it was like 32 minutes. They were gonna.
That seems pretty micro.
Oh, it was a hell of an environment to work in. Case surprised it didn't go better, right? But my point in all this was, I used to tell those guys, I was like, this is the most poorly run operation in the whole world because people have no flexibility to actually do the jobs. Like when I was working, I would work full bore for 3 or 4 hours and I'd be like, all right, I'm coming back to this in, 2 or 3 hours, right? And I would be obviously very productive running my business, etc. But when you have these structures that don't fit around the people's talents or the way they operate the best, you get failure. So all of this to being said, I've always done horrible in the structured environment, but now I have a super structured environment because I have a little tyrant to look after every single day, and my schedule evolves around hers. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that they say most people do just on autopilot is check their phone. Is there a certain time of day,
all day?
Yeah. As soon as we get off the air, well, we don't. It's not even waiting until we get off the air. Many times while we're on the air. Many times in mid-conversation, you'll look down at your phone.
Yeah.
But they just say
I'm not ignoring you.
People just do that automatically. There are certain things with your phone, like brushing your teeth is another one. Driving's another one. But checking your phone also on the list. Something that people just do it. Don't even know you're doing it, and you're doing it.
Brush your teeth. It's a little simple song sing-along, Casey. Brush your teeth.
That's your brush your teeth song.
Brush your teeth. Anyway, sorry, you got to end
the show. I was going to let you keep going. I was going to let you sing us out.
My whole life centers around the sing-alongs now, Casey.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for listening today. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Zillow ranks Indianapolis number 2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with Mark Dietel. Maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietel is the only real estate expert trusted and recommended with the sale of your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Just pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Luke and Emma in Franklin said, we began building our new dream home and we needed to sell our old place at a great price to pay for it. The Mark Dietel team made it easy with multiple offers in the first weekend and closed in 25 days at the price we wanted. Call the local Indianapolis agent, trusted and recommended, the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232. Get all the details or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark Dietel, Dietel, markdietel.com. The kids are heading back to school, and let's be honest, you're finally getting the house to yourself again, which makes now the perfect time to take care of that roof, siding, or gutters you've been putting off. And Moss Roofing is here to help. Moss Roofing has been helping Central Indiana homeowners for 34 years. They're family-owned, locally rooted, and known for doing things right every single time. Free inspections, honest advice, and top-quality work on roofing, siding, gutters, and windows. They treat your home like it's their own, and they clean up like they were never there. repair. That's why they've got great reviews and a loyal following of happy homeowners. So don't put it off any longer. Let Moss Roofing check your roof, your siding, and your gutters to make sure they're ready for the winter ahead. For your free inspection, call 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor and call a groundworks company. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule a free inspection with Indiana Foundation Service, a groundworks company.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Join Citizens Energy Group for free food, fun, and family-friendly activities at Community Resource Day on Saturday, October 4th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Citizens Energy Group.